Hang tight. Oh, I know. I remember to clean off one part, but not the other part. Bear with me. I think it's better. I think it's better. Now I've got some odd light coming in. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. It's funny. I look like I have I don't know, medical coat on. I'm like doubling as I don't know. So let's say a brain surgeon. That's what I'm doing. In my spare time, I'm a brain surgeon. Just came from surgery. All right, friends. Hello, how are we? Oh my gosh. Okay, Tuesday night. We are here. I just have to check my brain because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is one of 6 classes this week for me. So it's a lot. This is the first one, so it's good. You've got me all fresh. And if you happen to see me on Saturday early evening for the last one, I'll still be fresh, right? I might need a little caffeine though to help me stay fresh. Hi, everybody. Okay, so let's look. Just checking in on the chat. I see Sarah. Sarah, sweltering weather of Southern California. So maybe not Disney, maybe this week for you, Sarah. TK, hi TK. In Michigan, it's sweltering too. I think we're sweltering in lots of part of the US, aren't we? Margaret, finding comfort in these after sunset temps in Florida. Oh goodness, I bet, because then you guys, humidity too, so that's gotta be wonderful. So excited for the Disney notebook. I've got so many Walt Disney World trips to document. Love it. All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome. TK, thank you. This is Teresa, that helps. Some people if your YouTube name is not a name that I would know you as, it certainly helps if you just pop in and tell me who you are. Otherwise I'm like, don't know who that is. Ink and Pen Adventures, hello, hello. It's lovely here in West Sacramento. Okay, Ink and Pen Adventures, you too. Tell me who that is, so I know. All right, so we have lots to do tonight. We have lots of fun things because, of course, Disney. I mean, how can it not be fun, right? Let's see. TK says, I've used your past TNs for our trips this past year to Walt Disney World. Oh, very good. Sharon. Hi, Sharon from Livermore. Dawn. Hi, Dawn from also Michigan. Yes, looking forward to all the Disney classes this week, Dawn. So, yes, and I will see you for one tonight. And then the Disney mini book class is on Thursday night. So, oh, Lorianne. Okay, good. I was going to at one point remember to ask if you made it. Lorianne, you guys just bought the kit, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ago, and reached out, and I'm so glad you did, Lorianne. Reached out and said, hey, I just ordered it. Am I too late to join tonight? So, yes, I'm glad you were able to join. All right, so for those of you that are watching live, welcome. We will be here for the next, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. Obviously, I haven't taught this one before, so I never really know how long it is going to take. It's really how long I'm going to take, because sometimes I talk a lot, and you guys know that. If you don't know that, well, that's one thing you need to get to know about me. I will just talk a lot. Mostly about what we're doing, but every once in a while I squirrel and get off on another tangent, and then eventually I circle back around. So for those of you that are watching live this evening, there is a live chat that takes place. So it takes place on the right-hand side of my screen. Depending on how you have your view, whether you have it full screen or maybe you're watching on your TV, sometimes you might see it on the right, sometimes you may see it along the bottom. If you have completely maximized your screen, the full window, I don't know that you will see it. So love it when you guys pop into the chat and say hello. Oh, look it. So Dawn is in, no, TK, which now I'm not remember. Teresa is in Ann Arbor, and then Dawn's going to tell us. Did she already tell us where she was in Michigan? Oh, I don't know. I can't keep straight. Anyhow, so I'd love it if you guys pop in the chat. If you are watching live, tell me where you are from and just whatever else you want to share with us. That's a really fun place for us to interact at the start. But then as we get going and I actually start working on the project, that is a great place for you to ask questions if you have questions. So pop them in the chat. If you are accustomed to the Saturday sessions where things in the chat go lightning fast, don't worry, my classes are not like that because you guys are all working and everybody's pretty much working on the same thing. So if you ask a question in the chat and I happen to miss it, just don't be shy, ask again. Sometimes if you put it in all caps, then if I happen to glance up, that's the one thing that stands out. Okay, Monroe, I don't know where. Dawn's from Monroe, Michigan. I don't know where that is. I only barely know where the mitten is. Well, the mitten, I don't know which way ever the mitten goes. And now I look like I'm a beauty queen on a float. Oh, golly. Anyhow, so for those of you that are watching live, welcome. For those of you that aren't watching live, and this will be a big shout out to those of you from Ready, Set, Create. We are in the future, in the past. I'm talking to you guys in the future, but in the past. You guys will at some point be watching this class video after September, after the Ready, Set, Create event. So those of you that are hopping in to watch and do your project kit, welcome, welcome to you as well. If you are watching the replay, so I'm not watching live, you can still ask questions. You just can't access the chat because the chat only happens live. So if you have questions, you're watching a replay, go ahead and leave a comment on the video and I will be notified, or you can always just go to my website and click contact us and ask me a question through there. Oh, below the thumb, down here, right below. Okay, so let's see. Dawn is about 15 to 20 minutes north of the Michigan-Ohio state line. So look at, we're getting all kinds of a geography lesson tonight, aren't we? Quick little reminder about the video and the link. Please don't share the link with anyone unless you happen to buy a kit for someone else. And I know sometimes you guys do that to save on shipping, or some of you like to gift them. So in that case, feel free to share the link, but I just ask that you not share the link with anyone else because it's not fair to those of you that did purchase. What else did I want to say? Oh, yes. So you can access this class at any time. It will not go away as long as YouTube just is around, and as long as YouTube doesn't say, hey, we're going to start purging old videos, which I can't imagine that they would. But you just won't be able to find the class on my regular YouTube channel because it is hidden. It's hidden only for those people that have the link that purchased. So just keep track of that link. I know what some people will do is put it in their like videos to watch list or something like that, so that it's always there if you want to go back and reference it, or save the email. Now, if either of those things don't happen, then you can reach out to me and I'm more than happy to share the link with you again if you need. All right, so I think we are about ready to roll. So I am going to flip the camera. I am going to turn on a little fan here because it will be far too warm once I turn on the overhead lights. So bear with me while I do all those things, okay? Flipping. Oh, golly. I missed a great opportunity from that. But there. I used to say when I would flip the camera all the time, I'm going to take my jacket off too. I used to say, now we're going to go for a little spin like a ride at Disneyland. So you want to keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times as I flip the camera. Or for some of you, it might be like the dreaded teacups. And I say the dreaded teacups because I love the look of the teacups. They sure look like they're cute, but you know what? Oh my goodness, those things will make me sicker than sick with about 2 minutes flat. Just all the spinning, spinning, spinning. And we have boys. Well, they're men now. They're 21 and 24, but they were boys growing up. And they would sure get a kick out of getting on the teacups with their mother and spinning so fast that their mother, me, would be shrieking, begging them to stop. So anyhow, arms and legs inside the ride at all times. I'll try to remember that when we rotate again after we're done. All right, so lights on. I have plugged in the phone. iPad is plugged in, so we should be ready to roll. Okay, if you are new to my Traveler's Notebook kits, generally I do not include written instructions with the Traveler's Notebook kits. I do on all of the rest of my kits, and I get questions sometimes about, am I missing something from my kit because I don't have instructions? I have found, unless I am teaching in person, which I know sounds kind of funny, if I'm teaching in person, I have to have written instructions for the kits because people are just kind of, you know, all over the board as they are working. But there's so many things that we do in Traveler's Notebook that I kind of talk ad lib about. And for some, well, because part of the project isn't really designed, we don't like design every single page, right? As we're working together in the Traveler's Notebook insert. A lot of times I'll kind of go off script. There is no script, but I'll go off script and then we'll talk about fun things and try this and try that. So hopefully you're good with that because that's the way it is. Margaret said, I love the teacups. One of my favorites. Oh, Margaret, if I was going to say if we were friends, we are friends. If we were friends together at Disneyland, that's when I'd have to go like, oh, I know, I'd have to go get my very favorite treat at Disneyland. that would be a chocolate covered banana. I love the chocolate covered banana. So while you were on the teacups, I would go get us chocolate covered banana. An interesting little tidbit. I have never had a Dole Whip. Isn't that crazy? And I have been to Disneyland far more times than I can count on hands and toes and fingers and all of that. I've never had a Dole Whip. I don't know why. One of these days I will have a Dole Whip. Okay, so I have my Traveler's Notebook covers out. I am using the red scallop. Now, I always say, doesn't really matter what kind of cover that you use, right? Doesn't matter if it's pink. It does not matter if it's yellow. Doesn't matter if it has purple flowers all over it. It does not have to coordinate with what you're putting inside, right? So whatever Traveler's Notebook cover that you have, then pull that out. If you don't yet have a Traveler's Notebook cover, or you don't have one with you right now, as we get started, we're going to decorate the pockets first. So if you don't have one, you can just kind of sit back and relax for a bit. Maybe you can go find your favorite Disney snack, like a banana or a pretzel or popcorn. I'm trying to think what you might have around. Oh, one of my favorite snacks most definitely is not the turkey leg. It's very barbaric. Definitely not the turkey leg, not my thing. Although the boys, when they were little, they loved that. Something about walking around with the turkey leg and being able to gnaw on it. And anyhow, all right, so I'll be using the red. Let's talk about what you have in your kit to start. So for this particular project, I have used the Simple Stories Say Cheese at the Park collection. This collection is awesome. I was with Simple Stories. Let's see, I worked for Simple Stories for 6 years and was there when they did their very first Say Cheese collection. And I want to say this is probably, I don't know, I bet this is Say Cheese number 6. So they were called Say Cheese 1, 2, and 3. And then when they kept going, they started naming them other things. But I think this is Say Cheese number 6. And I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for all the Simple Stories Say Cheese collections. I just think they're so well done. And anytime I see anyone else, another manufacturer in the industry do a Say Cheese collection, I'm like, oh, that's cute, but it's just not quite Simple Stories. If you're not familiar with the collection and you're just looking at what you have in your kit right now, this is one of, I think, 5 total different little themes within their big giant umbrella Say Cheese at the Park collection. They have Say Cheese Adventureland, Say Cheese Tomorrowland, Say Cheese Fantasy, Say Cheese, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting one. Anyhow, I think they have 4 other ones that kind of coordinate with this collection. And those of you that purchased the mini book kit, you'll be playing with all of those because those are all part of the kit. Anyhow, this particular collection is just the plain old Jane Say Cheese at the Park is kind of your traditional Disney. Okay, so we have the 12 by 12 sticker. Gosh, I'm having a hard time. The 12 by 12 sticker sheet. We have a number of different pattern papers from the collection. The 3 by 4 elements. This fun magical day. Say Cheese Fantasy. Yep, Say Cheese Fantasy. Oh, Sarah, Memories Unlimited doing a crop weekend. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. I saw that. In fact, Kimmy asked if I could teach it that, but because I think they're doing it, I don't know, I can't remember when it is, but I'm already teaching somewhere else that weekend. So this guy, but we'll be using this one a little bit differently than you think we might. This one, which of course, this is just a classic, right? Both of these are classics. So, hi Joy, nice to see you. Both of these are kind of classic, at least to me. When I think Disney, I think kind of black and white polka dot and red and white polka dot. But these are really fun because they are kind of a little skiwampus, right? A little skiwampus. They're the polka dots. So I love those. All right, so then we have a little half sheet of red that we will be using. You have your package of 2 Traveler's Notebook inserts. You have one of my zipper pouches. So we'll talk about a couple different ways that you could use a zipper pouch. You have some tickets. Of course, we're going to Disneyland. We need tickets. You have some pom-pom trim. This little guy, and I think Teresa said she'd already hung the charms off of her TN. So this little charm, you guys, this is custom. You can't get this anywhere else. I designed these. So I found the charms, sourced the charms, and I thought these 3 charms were just so perfect for our traveler's notebook, right? You have a little castle, you have a star wand, and then this little guy. You have that little kind of Mickey Mouse head key. And then our son Sam now has he has a little side hustle, and he makes all of the charms for me. So anyhow, this little guy, that charm is designed, and you really use it any way that you'd like, but the way that I use it is I take that little charm and just clip it with the lobster clasp right there. I need another hand. My fingernails are getting in the way. Clip it right here on the elastic, off the elastic. So most traveler's notebooks have elastics right there that you can easily just clip right onto. If not, and I know some people prefer to put their charms kind of right here on this, on that elastic. So Sarah said, love the charms. I got the travel one for my TN for my upcoming Alaska trip. Oh, Sarah, I am jealous. That sounds amazing. Alaska, that's on my bucket list. Haven't done that one yet. Yeah, so there's also a travel charm. And there is, I think I just put them up yesterday. There's a summer charm. And there are lots and lots and lots of more charms coming. They keep selling out. So Sam is busy with his little side hustle. He's a little busy with this side hustle making charms for me. He has a full-time job and goes to school. So yes, but he's enjoying it. He's liking his side hustle. All right, so there's your little, I don't know why I took that up. There's your little charm. You have a roll of the my black scallop washi. And that one is just so perfect for this. I'm going to grab one that's already open. That one is so perfect for this collection for Disney, because this to me just screams Disney. So that will work with that. And then you should have a little baggie. Teresa, you used your artificial fingernail, right? I know that tool is amazing. Oh, I have 2 of them. I actually have more than 2. One, I kind of have a little travel bag that I like to keep full. I better add that back in, because if I don't add that back in, I'm going to be sad next time I travel and don't have that little guy in there. Let's see. Ava Higginbotham said, hi, it's Wendy in Seattle. So excited for this. My internship many moons ago was at Disneyland. Oh my gosh, Wendy. So Wendy, I have to apologize right now, because Wendy, her chat shows up as Ava Higginbotham. So Wendy, I will probably forget. And at some point when you leave a comment, I'll be like, oh, Ava. And so just know, if I say Ava, I mean Wendy. I will try to remember that. Yes. And Sarah said, Ava, how fun. What did you do? Yeah, share with us what you did as your internship. All right. Then we have this little bag, and there's lots of little goodies in your little baggie. You have a die cut Mickey. You have a couple more tickets. You have some, you have some baker's twine, a little gold punched Mickey head, and then you have a gold paper clip and a, oh my gosh, how cute is this, right? That is, you can see, it's like a little Mickey clip. So that should be everything that you have in your kit. Let's go ahead and start off by cutting our paper. So grab your paper trimmer and we'll do a bit of cutting. Need to get all those fun goodies out of the way. Ava, Wendy said, I did tours, but mostly worked at Splash Mountain, Haunted Mansion, and Pirates. They have an incredible program for college kids with lots of classes. Got 16 credits for summer. Oh my goodness. Oh, I bet that was so fun. Splash Mountain. I love Splash Mountain. I learned, and you would think, hello, I've gone to Disneyland like all my life. I learned the last time we went, maybe 4 years ago, that I needed to remember not to wear white shorts to Disneyland if I planned on going on Splash Mountain. Because then I took off my sweatshirt and tied it around my waist until my shorts dried. Alrighty, so let's start out by cutting. Let's cut apart our 3x4 elements first. So these we are just going to cut apart in their individual little pieces. So those are 3x4 cards. We should end up with 12 3x4 cards. So nothing tricky going on here in terms of how we are cutting. Every once in a while I have us cut some things like this a little bit differently, but we're not going to cut this one differently. This is going to be as you would think you would cut it. All right, so it is 6:30. Well, it's after 6:30, right? So now it's 6:51. It is 6:51 my time. I am in Utah, so we are Mountain Time Zone. I never say, whenever I talk about what time class is, I never say Mountain Time. Because I think we're in one of those weird time zones where people are like, wait a minute, Mountain Time. Wait, which one is that? Like, how do I know? Like, how many hours do I add or subtract? So I always say Pacific. So yes, it is 6:51, almost 7 here. Still very light outside and very warm outside. Some of you know this about me, if you've been with me, especially on Saturdays for a while. We live in a new development. We have been here 4 years this summer, and we were one of the first 4 homes here. It is a development with 160 some odd homes. So it has been 4 years of a heck of a lot of construction. The last few homes are I mean, they're so close to being done. There is one that is very near us, though, that they are putting the siding on today. And up until, I'm just looking out the window, up until a few minutes ago, oh no, the guy's still out there. Up until a few minutes ago, they were still pounding and whatever they do when they put siding on. So hopefully we won't be too distracted by that. Sometimes when that has happening, you guys can hear. But I can't hear them now. So maybe they're putting their things away for the evening since it's 7 o'clock. All right, so we're done with our little cards. Let's put those up to the side. Now let's do this paper. So as cute as this guy is, hi, Marilee. Let's see. Marilee said, hi, all and Lael. These are my last days with my soon-to-be college girl. Oh, so we're going to her favorite local eateries until she leaves. We'll catch the replay. Yes, Marilee, absolutely you should. It is such an exciting time when you send your littles off, whether they're college or a job or travel or whatever it is. But oh my gosh, it's hard. I know it is hard, but it's bittersweet, right? Because you're so happy for them, but at the same time, it's sad. So yes, you spend time with her and you will be totally fine. You know what you're doing. So when you are ready to work on this, oh, and I think I'll see you at Ready, Set, Create, won't I? Maybe? I think that's where I know you, yeah? Anyhow, I'll have it with me at Ready, Set, Create if you're there, if you need to take a peek. Okay, so this paper, as fun as this paper is, we are not using it the way that you think we might. We are going to use this as a slip cover. However, we really couldn't use this as the front of our slip cover, and I'll show you why when we get there. For our slip cover, we always keep our slip covers 12 inches wide. We need them to be 8.25 inches tall, or 8¼ inches tall, because that is the height of our insert. So even though we're not using this side, or I'm not, I still want to cut it as if maybe you might decide that you want a way to try to work that in. So you don't have to decide yet, as long as you cut with me the same way. So I want this to be, I want this to be 8¼ inches tall. So I am going to cut off the top of this. So in case I decide that, oh, maybe I want to try to use this as a slip cover, I've just at least cut it the right way. Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Marilee. So I will have it. I'll have it with me. All right. So let me see. What do I need that for? Anything? I don't believe so. All right. So we're just going to hang on to that guy. Hold on. Did I use it there? Nope. Hang on to this guy for a minute in case we decide to use it later. All right. Put that one off to the side. So here, that is all we need to do with this particular piece of paper. So let's go ahead and put it off to the side. Our next slip cover is This one, oh my gosh, there's so many good papers in this collection, you guys. So this one, I actually really wanted to be able to use this one for a slip cover. And really, there was no way to use it for a slip cover because you'd end up like this, right? And then you'd have iCal. And you'd be like, iCal? What's iCal? iCal. I don't know, is that like the Apple calendar, the iCal? No. So that is not going to work for a slip cover. I even thought, well, wait a minute, maybe we could just use white cardstock to slip cover and then use this piece on the front. We can't even do this because this is way too wide. So we will be using the opposite side of this for our slip cover. I'm going to rotate it anyway. Doesn't matter on the back side, but on the front side, I'm still going to rotate it anyway. And I will trim that at 8 1/4 as well. All right, so I don't know, maybe when you're like, I was gonna say if you get sick of Disney one day, yeah, said no one ever. But that you could figure out a way to use this paper, but I don't think you will. Okay, so then we need, for that guy, we need to have a, we want to make that little piece about 8 inches long because I am going to use that extra piece to be the anchor for my little pom-pom trim. So it's just, you won't see it, but it will slide in there. So if you look at this paper and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that too much. It is, I don't want to lose it. Then you might just take a piece of white cardstock or, extra pattern paper or whatever it is and use that instead. But I am going to trim this to 8 inches. And I will use that guy. I know, Joy, never sick of Disney, right? I know. How could we be sick of Disney? All right, so those are our 2 slip covers. And then there's the piece that I need for that. All right, next up, we have this guy, and this will be the last piece that we cut. This guy we are going to use to create a pocket folder. So we want to go ahead and trim off our product strip. And I would encourage you to save these little product strips because we can use those. We'll do something fun with those. All right, so now what we want to do, let me show you what this looks like. This one might help a little bit to see how this looks when we are done. So this is a little pocket folder that we'll be making. And we don't trim the height at all. The height stays at 12 inches because we're folding up part of that height to create our pocket. But I wanted to show you this here because when we open it up, I wanted my little park itinerary here to be in the center. So what that means is I'm going to turn this paper over. I need this to be 10 inches wide. I want it to be 10 inches wide because when I fold it, it is now 5 inches wide. So it is the width of one of our inserts, right? Just like that. So that means I need to take 2 inches off. Now, I want to be thinking about how I take the 2 inches off of this. First of all, I'm taking it off of the width, okay? So when I say I'm taking it off the width, right and left edges, I don't want to take it off of the top and bottom. That will mess me up. So I want to take it off of the width. And because I want it to be centered when I open it, I don't want it to have a little bit park and then itinerary way over here. It might look funny. So I am going to trim 1 inch off of both the right edge and the left edge. So if I put that one at 11, there's just a little strip and I flip that around and off of the other side, I am also taking 1 inch. So now I have a piece that is 10 inches wide by 12 inches tall. All right. Oh, Teresa, I'm glad you think so. So for those of you that aren't watching live, Teresa said you are so good explaining what we are doing. That's really important to me, Teresa, that I explain things well because it makes things easier on me if you guys are not lost. Not to say that someone won't get lost, but we know what to do when we get lost at Disneyland, right? We go find an adult. I have a fun story about that I may share. Hi, just keep crafting, late to the party, but I'm hoping to catch up. You will be fine. You will absolutely be fine because we just started cutting our paper. So you will totally be fine. You can also, I think you might be able to pause and rewind. I think you can do that. You can, anyone, whether you are just joining or whether you joined us from the beginning, you can always pause the video at any time that you need. You can pause it, and if you need a little bit more time to do some of your cutting, or you need to go grab a drink or a snack or whatever, you can pause it. And then when you come back, push play. And then just work as you are going. Every once in a while, I get confused and I don't realize you've done that because you ask a question and I see the question live in the chat, but you're maybe a few minutes behind. So, but it's usually easy to work around that. Teresa said, me too, very low stress that we understand before we cut. Yeah. And you know what? Part of that is just as a student or as a participant, I would want that. So I try to always remember that too, that I try to explain things so they would make sense to me if I was you. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Okay, so here we go. We are done with our cutting for now. We may need to do a little bit more cutting, but just go ahead and move your trimmer because that will give you a little bit more space to work. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put all those pieces that we cut off to the side with the exception of the cards. So we're going to start out by decorating our pockets. And as I work, I will have this next to me and I will start out decorating my pockets. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see or not, but this has a lot of residue on it that I have not cleaned off. Generally, I don't. That may sound kind of weird, but when I set up my traveler's notebooks, and I get the pockets all decorated, I always like to put a little bit of adhesive, just a tiny bit, behind the cards and things so those things don't move around. We take a lot of time and we take great pride in our traveler's notebook looking all nice. We don't want to, take it in our bag and then have all the little pieces fall out. So I use a little bit of adhesive. So when I move from traveler's notebook to traveler's notebook, and I do often, this one will stay this way, but this one won't because I just am doing a second one for teaching. I don't generally clean all that little extra sticker residue off because I'm just going to cover it up again. You can use, if you end up with a little bit of extra residue, and you can kind of see that there, if you end up with a little bit of extra residue, generally I'll take a paper towel and put a little bit of like goof off or goo gone or, whatever that's called. I'll put a little bit on there and just rub that stuff off. So you can get that to come off no problem, even if you have a little bit on your window. Now I will, when I'm done, need to come in and clean that window off because you'll be able to see through my window. This is the configuration of my traveler's notebook cover. I am using one of the Doodlebug ones. As I mentioned, it's the red scallop, and that scallop, I just love it so much. And look at that. Now this kind of makes sense, huh? But whatever one that you have will work for you. If you still need one and you're kind of eyeing the red one, I have the red one on my website. Okay, so as we start building, I always start at the top and work my way down. So it looks like I'm starting off with this card, having a blast, and that I'm just going to tuck in the pocket. If you have a traveler's notebook cover that has a different pocket configuration than the one that I'm using, no worries, right? You can just kind of move things around accordingly. If you don't have a window right here, we'll talk about something that you could do different. Okay, so I'm going to start out by adding all the cards and then I'll come back in and add stickers and kind of the little embellishments after that because I need to get the base down first. All right, now let's see. This guy is the back side of, this guy, the Go See Ride card. So what I'll do is I will show you what cards that I have used all throughout the project, because if you're like, oh my gosh, the Go See Ride I love so much, I don't want to not use it, then you can maybe decide on something else. All right, so we're using this guy. We're also using that one. We are using, oh yes, the Park Pass card. And those are the only cards that I've used right there. We are using the Fun card. I actually think I used almost all of them because I did lots of fun things on the inside. I used this card. And then use, don't want to like show you all the magic yet. That one, and that one, and that one. So looks like these are the two cards I did not use. So we went through that whole exercise because I am using this card right here as a background. I'm just using it for the polka dot, not for what it says there. So if you're like, but I like Go See Ride, then you could use either one of those two instead, all right? So that guy's just gonna tuck right there in that pocket. I'm not really worrying how they're facing or where they're going, which direction they're going right now. This guy will also come into this pocket. And, oh, actually this guy tucks into this pocket. So he's kind of covering up this space and that space as well. Then the last one that I used in decorating the pockets is this guy, the Park Pass. And the Park Pass, I am sliding into this bottom pocket. Now, the pocket is too shallow, right? It's too narrow for my card. So what I need to do is come in, the width is fine, but I need to come in and trim part of that off. So what I want to do, I want to make sure that I save this little part because that's really cute, right? Get ready for the time of your life. I might as well trim that off so that I can use it. I'm going to grab my other little trimmer now. It'll be a little bit easier for me to move in and out as I need to work on, trim a few things. So I am going to trim off that bottom part. Like so. So that'll be a cute little piece to use. And then let's see if that works yet. Did I get enough off of there? Not quite. So this will end up being, after I cut off that little piece at the bottom, that little strip that we can use, this I will want to be, I'm going to say about, let's see, 2 and 1, 2. This will be much easier. 2 and I'm going to say about 5/16, so a little bit more than a quarter. So 2 and 5/16 would be 4 plus 1, Keep that spot in my head. 2 and 5/16. All right, so 2 and 5/16-ish, right? Sometimes it's just easier to trim a little bit off and trim a little bit off because you've got a little bit of extra room there to a little bit of a fudge factor there. All right, there we go. I can't believe I didn't. Well, actually, I can believe I didn't. I was teaching at an event in Spokane, Washington, or outside of Spokane this past weekend, and I used this traveler's notebook for a whole other kit. So I had to hurry up and empty it before we started today. So that's why I didn't clean it. Okay, so there we go. That little guy will be in that pocket. If you do not have a window, a pocket, a little window pocket there, no worries. You could, let's pretend like you had this one. It's, oh, look it, see? I don't clean things off very often. That's not good. But if I just had a plain old pocket down there at the bottom, I could even just kind of put that little guy right there if I wanted. I might need to trim it down a little bit. I would just, put a little tiny bit of adhesive behind it, but I could just put that on that bottom area of a different traveler's notebook if I had a different one. So let's go ahead and pop that back in. And if you have nothing like that down there, then you could just say, you know what, I'm going to save that little cute park pass for something else. Okay, so now I'll put this guy back in there, and that I am tucking underneath that little park pass. All right, so let's start back up at the top again. And now we are going to start with the stickers, working with our 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So I started out with this guy, this hello. And I love this kind of font, treatment of this font all throughout this collection. I'm sure many of you remember, and I don't know about Walt Disney World. I can't speak to Walt Disney World. I can only speak to Walt Disney. But when the sign at the park used to look like this, right? Remember that? And it said Disneyland. I loved that. That was like vintage Disney, right? All right, so this guy is going to go right in here. So it is going to cover up some of that white space in my traveler's notebook. And what I want to do, I want to make sure that I can still see that little part that says Magical Theme Park. So I'm going to pop that up just a tad. And it's going to actually cover, that little guy will cover up kind of the bottom parts of my sign. And then I'm just going to stick right down on the traveler's notebook itself. If that makes you nervous, you can take a piece of scratch paper, so maybe a piece of cardstock or an old piece of pattern paper that you're not using, and attach your sticker to that, and then just tuck the bottom of it into that pocket. Then that way you would not be attaching something to your traveler's notebook itself. Deborah, hi Deborah. Deborah just joined us. She said just joining, but I'm just going to kick back and watch. This week is full of classes, it seems. I think I have 3 Lael classes. Deborah, you probably have me maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. I apologize for that. I am headed out of town. Nick and I are headed out of town on Sunday for 10 days. And when I started looking at the calendar, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't delay all these 10 more days because then I'm only going to be in town for a couple days and then gone again. So I have to get these in where I can. So yes, good news is you can sit back. You can sit back and relax, or some of you are maybe doing this, maybe March of 2028, because I know that happens sometimes, right? I know life gets away from us and we don't quite get things done when we want them to do. But that's okay. Then you have something to look forward to in March of 2028. All right. Okay, so I am going to I grabbed a couple of little foam squares because I want to just put maybe one, whoopsie, right back there behind that little sign, just so it kind of has a nice place to lay or land. Oh, forgot to do my outlining. If you are new to me or new to my project kits, new to any of my crafting, I outline pretty much everything I do. And it's usually better not to try to do that in the pocket. When I say outline, I just take my little fine tip Sharpie here and I am just outlining the inside perimeter of the card. It just gives it a little bit more of a decorative look. And I can't not do that. Things look very odd to me if I don't do that. All right, so then moving our way over here, we have Mickey holding some balloons. So that is our die cut Mickey. And we're just gonna set him right about there for a minute. We need the balloon stickers from our sticker sheet. Grab those. And those are kind of going to sit right there in the center of his little palm. So I will put those right there. And then I want to add another little foam square behind that orange balloon. And that will give me a little bit of dimension. We're not really using much of anything that is dimensional in here. So we want to get a little bit of dimension, and we'll do that with our pop dots or our foam stickers. Okay, next up, we have this little sticker that says Ride Pass. Please return between 2:30 and 3:30 p.m. Your ticket to Ride Fast. Fast Pass, right? Hi, just keep crafting, caught up. Woohoo! Oh yeah, you were here before. Yeah, I just had to remind myself. I had to look back at the chat. I'm so glad you're caught up. Yeah, I generally, I think I move at a pretty steady pace. I don't think I move too fast. I know some of you would beg to differ. But that's nice when we're doing this virtually that you can, pause at any time that you need. The Ride Pass, right? The little Fast Pass. We talk about Fast Passes, and we'll talk about those when we start talking about this guy. I need to find that. But we'll talk about Fast Passes when we start talking about this guy. All right, so I just did pop dots behind that little Ride Pass. They can't really call it a Fast Pass, because that's a Disney term. You have to walk a very thin line. You have to walk a very thin line between making things Disney-esque and then actually making them Disney, right? You will always, with simple stories, only see a half ear. A half ear, you can't copyright or trademark a half ear. So there you go. That's why you'll always see that. Okay, so we have our little guy there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our baker's twine and we are going to add in a little bit more color. Oh yeah, so just keep crafting. I can't remember if you told me your name or not. You don't have your cover yet, so now you're ready. Yeah, now you're ready. We'll jump to that very shortly. We're almost there. Okay, so I am going to tie a cute little bow to go on our balloons. That's the only thing that we are using this for. You have 12 inches, so you should have plenty of room to play. And I am just going to tie the bow in the air. What I mean by tie the bow in the air, I'm not tying it onto anything or around anything. I don't have any shoes that I'm, have shoelaces with. So I'm just tying my bow in the air. And I will kind of just now play with the size of the loops until I get them where I want them to be. They're going to want to twist on me, and that's okay because I have a solution for that. Anytime I work with baker's twine, see how I just worked that a little bit? Hold the knot between your thumb and your pointer finger. Oh, there we go. Hi, Jen. Yes, now I recognize your name. Yes, we've been chatting about year in review. I'm glad it's coming together nicely. All right, so I have my bow where I'd like it to be. I just put my, I just held onto the knot, and then I was able to kind of pull these and work with the little loops to get them where I wanted to be. And again, I don't care that it's that long because I'm not using it for anything else. I need some liquid adhesive, so some kind of a liquid glue. If you have, this one is Lawn Fawn, if you have Nouveau, if you have Eileen's Tacky Glue, whatever it is, you need a little bit of liquid glue because we need to put a little dab right there. And this is just like, I don't know, some of you may remember this, the old Brill cream commercials. Brill cream, I think, was like a men's hair cream, and their tagline was "a little dab will do ya." So just like Brill cream, in this instance, a little dab will do you. You don't need a lot, right? And you just need to, I put that knot, the center of my bow, right onto that dab of glue. And then I just need to hold it there for a minute or two, right? So it will stay. Now, I love to use baker's twine because I think it's really fun. But it doesn't have a lot of structure to it, right? So it kind of will flop around and these little tails will get lost and, well, not lost, but they'll get, in other places. And the little loops of my bow there, I tried hard to make them look all nice and cute and even, right? And all nice and kind of plump. So I don't want those to get all messed up every time I'm closing and opening my Traveler's Notebook cover. So what I will do is grab that liquid glue again. And I usually like to put a little dab behind. Now that's a lot of dab. I always keep my glue stored upside down. So I'm not always like shaking, but now it wants to keep coming out. So I don't need as much. When I say a little dab will do you, just know that a lot more. I just used a lot more than I really needed to. But I like to put a little bit of liquid glue behind the little bows, the loops, because that will hold them in place, right? Then they will always stay there and look always nice and pretty like that. I also like to do the same thing with our little tails. Now, these are probably way longer than I'm going to keep them, so yeah, that's also still way more glue coming out. And then this guy, if I decide to keep it that long, I don't know, maybe it can just go, yikes. It is like Mount Vesuvius. It just keeps coming. Of course it does. It's like the ketchup bottle that if you don't store it upside down, it's forever to come out. But then if you store it upside down, the second that you open up the ketchup bottle, it goes everywhere. That's what we've got going on with that glue. All right, so I can just put a little bit of that right there too. And then we'll let that continue to dry while it is, I kind of like those little strings being super long like that. We'll see. I may decide to cut them later. All right, and that glue will dry clear. Let's see. Hi, Raquel. Raquel said, good evening, everyone. Just joining in and excited to create this Traveler's Notebook for my upcoming trip to Disney World in October. So I've heard a lot about Disney World. I'm not hearing a lot about Disneyland. I've really never been to Disney World. Really only Disneyland. Nick and I on our honeymoon we went to Jamaica on our honeymoon, and we stopped, I think, for 2 days in Orlando on the way, and went to Epcot one day. So yes, never really been to Disney World. So my whole experience, as I reference Disney, is from Disneyland. Okay, so now we need to add a few more stickers. Oh goodness, I totally got that on there. That's okay. It'll be fine. Okay, so we need to add some stickers. I added a little word strip sticker right up there because it's kind of a big white space, right? We need to fill that in. It's too blank. I added what a blast. And of course, what a blast, because it's the fireworks, right? Love the fireworks at Disney. When I was growing up, my grandparents lived in Anaheim. They lived, I don't know, not far from Disney. And so we could, you could always hear the fireworks. Could always hear the fireworks. But we could climb up on the roof and watch the fireworks from their house. So that was kind of a fun thing. Okay, Teresa said, I've been to both and Disneyland has my heart. Wendy, we are going to Disney World in November. Kids and hubby have never been. I have 25 years ago. Oh my gosh. Wendy, how old are your kids? And Dawn is also going to Walt Disney World in October. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be hilarious if you guys were there at the same time? All right, so we added what a blast. Then down here we have mousing around. I always think the fireworks, it's kind of fun to hang out. Fireworks, that's when you see all the little kids like zombies. Oh, 12 and 16. Oh my gosh, they're going to love it. Are they so excited? I bet they are so excited. All right, then we have this little sticker that says mousing around. And we have just one more sticker right here that says a bit of magic. So I am not going to put that on there yet because I really need to clean that off. I really need to get my Goo Gone and clean off the residue. So you can see here, I just have that little sticker that says a bit of magic. Okay, Joy is going in October for the party, Halloween, right? I think October is probably a pretty popular time to go. I have never, okay, I promise you, I've been at Disneyland, I don't know, 30 or 40 times. I've never been at Halloween. It was only until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that I even went to Disneyland Christmas time. It wasn't even Christmas, it was in January, but all the Christmas decorations were up. Ink and Pen Adventures, been to both in Paris. First Disney cruise is September for your 20th. Well, congratulations for your 20th, and what a fun place to celebrate. Margaret has been to both, lives in Northeast Florida, so only a couple of hours. Oh yeah, that definitely makes it easier, huh? Sarah, grew up with Disneyland. Walt Disney World is amazing, but I love my original little park. Yeah. Teresa's been on 11 Disney cruises. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then Just Keep Crafting is going at Christmas time to Disney World, kids 15 and 18. Oh my goodness. So fun. You know what? I don't know. There's nothing like that just is Disney, right? I think for a lot of it holds kind of a special place in our heart, right? Kind of a special place in our heart. For me, very special place. I'm actually going to just come in really quick and just tack a couple of these down. So when I say tack, I mean, I'm just putting a little tiny bit of adhesive behind so they really don't move. I don't want them to move. I want them to stay in place so that they don't kind of move around a lot. Let's do a little, I don't want to move around at all, right? I'm going to do a little foam square behind Mickey's ear right there. And then everything else is pretty good, right? I'll do a little tug test. I can tug and it's not coming out. Yeah, we're good with the tug test. Okay, next up, we want to do our little pom-pom trim. I love doing this. The pom-pom trim, I think, is just so much fun, especially for something that's whimsical like Disney. So you have 9 inches of pom-pom trim, which is longer than you need because we cut this piece to 8 inches. Let's see. Wendy said we did the Disney cruise to Alaska. It was epic. Oh, I'm sure, right? I am sure Ink and Pen Adventures agrees. Okay, so your little pom-poms are a little bit deflated. What I mean by that is, when they ship, they get a little squished when they get kitted. So I am just going to plump up the little pom-poms. So just work them around a little bit in your fingers so they're not flat, right? And they should pretty much go back to their original round-ish shape, right? Round-ish shape. They're pretty pliable, so I will do that. then I am going to either take my liquid adhesive, again, like my glue, or a stapler. So I pulled out my little Tim Holtz tiny attacher. If you have a regular stapler or you have that little guy, you might want to grab that out because it will be a lot easier than doing it with liquid glue. Now, you could totally do it with liquid glue. I would recommend if you're going to do it with liquid glue, and I'll show you how to do that, but I'd recommend that you maybe wait because it will take a while to dry. That trim is super porous, so it'll suck that glue right up, and you need to add a lot of glue in order for it to stick, and then you kind of need to hold it for a while. So if you are using glue for that, like I said, I recommend you kind of wait to do that. Okay, I think there we go. Sarah said, when we got back into the parks after the pandemic closing, we were reminded what a fun, special place Disney is, right? Right, yes, absolutely. Okay, so I am going to take, it doesn't really matter which side because you're not going to see it, right? You don't see what that pom-pom trim is attached to. So I'm going to take the pom-pom trim and I am going to start it at an end. And where I start it, I want to make sure I have a pom-pom. And if I don't do that, there's nothing wrong with it, but it might look a little funny if I just start it right there and then there's that whole like first almost inch that doesn't have a pom-pom. That's why you have extras, so you can make sure that you have a pom-pom at the top and the bottom. So I'm just taking my little tiny attacher there. So I start at that one end and I will stretch it down to this end so that I also have a pom-pom that ends. So this guy, actually, I'll probably keep that 9 inches just so it's not super stretched out. And then I will do the same thing here. And then I'll just come through and staple some more so that little guy doesn't move around a lot. So if you have a stapler, you can use stapler, even if it's just a regular old stapler. It doesn't have to be a little tiny one because you won't see those staples. If you do not have a stapler and you have your liquid glue, then you will just grab your liquid glue and put a bead right there along the edge and get a pretty good sized bead going. So get a bead all along the edge and then you will just press that part down, and I'd kind of go through like this and press and press and press and press and press and then press and press and press and press again. You may need to hold it for a while. So like I said, that may be something that you decide that you want to do after the fact. All right, how's everybody doing? How about the replayers? How are the replayers doing? I always joke that if you didn't catch the beginning and you were watching the replay, so if you didn't catch the beginning to know that it was I told you it was a replay, you really wouldn't know. Other than you wouldn't be able to chat. All right, so there we go. And now this little guy is just going to slide right into that little side pocket, that little secretarial pocket. Like so. And I want to tuck that in so I really don't see, maybe need to move that a little bit. No, it's all right. So if you need to, if it's a little bit too wide, you can get your trimmer. And it was a little bit too wide because I could kind of see a little bit of that. I didn't want to see that. So I'm going to just take my trimmer and trim a little bit off of the opposite edge. And then I should be good. Back in it goes. Yep, there we are. Okay, so pockets done. We are now going to move to our slip covers. So grab one of your inserts. It's one insert. And we're going to grab our first piece that we had cut. This is 8 1/4 by 12. It's 8 1/4, so it is the height of my insert. And it is 12 because when I open this up, we have 5 inches, 5 inches. We need a little bit of extra to go over that little, that center part. Then I'll have enough to fold the insides in to slip cover. So when you're folding paper, I always recommend that you fold the outside in. So this is going to be the outside. The reason this is going to be well, we don't have to go there yet because you could still do this the other way if you wanted. So I'm going to fold this outside in. And that means outside in like this. You want to fold outside in really anytime you're folding paper. If you're making a card, if you are folding something like this, anytime you're folding, I always recommend you fold outside in. If you are ever going to see any breakage of the fibers, you are going to see that on the fold, on the mountain side of the fold, okay? When I say mountain side, that looks like a mountain, right? So you're always going to see breakage on the mountain side of the fold, not the valley side of the fold. So this is like a valley, this is like a mountain. So if you kind of keep that in mind, any fiber breakage you're going to see on the outside of the fold. So if it breaks here, I don't really care because it's going to be on the inside. And then I can flip it over the other side. All right, so that is the start of my slip cover. I want to grab Teresa. OMG, those pom-poms make the pockets just pop. You can't see me smiling so big. I know it does though, huh? That's just, and that's an easy way. That's such an easy way to kind of get some joy out of your, you open your traveler's notebook and those pom-poms just make it all the more special. All right, so we are going to take this cover or the or slip cover. Take your insert, so this is the closed part, that is the staples, and just line that right up into the center of that fold. And close it, and rotate it. So, there's the edge of my paper, and there is my inside front cover, all right? I am going to use this part of my pinky to run it along that edge so that I make a crease there. You don't have to measure. This is gonna be the most accurate way to do it. If you don't want to use your finger and you have a bone folder, you could use a bone folder, but super gentle there. We don't want to tear that. All right. So there we go. I lift that piece up. I lift that inside front cover up. And all I do is just tuck that right under like that. Okay. And then I want to flip it over to the back and do the exact same thing. Use my little finger there to crease that, lift up my paper, lift up my inside back cover, and do the same thing. I'm just using that crease and that edge of the cover as my guide to make sure I get it nice and folded where it is supposed to be. So there is my slip cover. Now, if you are still really torn because you really like the way you like this pattern on the other side, I could try to use this. And if I did, I would just now go and reverse the whole thing. You just miss kind of part of the castle. So that is why I didn't do it the other way. You'll see, you just miss, you need that extra part of the castle for your slip cover. So we kind of lose that whole part. If you wanted to do your cover of your first insert that way, you totally could. But I'm still making sure we get the castle because we're going to use the little castle sticker. But you always have a choice, right? You do you. I always say you do you. You decide what you want to do, what makes you happy. This is my traveler's notebook and yours is now in front of you. So you can do whatever you want. All right. Oh, I'm just so much in the habit. That's just honestly habit. That's just like autopilot when I do that. I don't need to do that again. Actually, I better. All right, so next thing, this is where your washi is going to come in play for the first time. Generally, I will take some washi, and I usually do, I don't know, about 3 or 4 inches, like that. And I will put that right here. That will secure it in place. It could be temporary or it could be permanent, right? If you are not going to ever move out of this traveler's notebook cover, then you could, well, it could be permanent, right? You could use a full piece if you wanted because you have an entire roll, but generally I just put a little bit there, enough to hold it. You don't need a lot. And then I'll come back on the back side and do that as well. And you'll notice, oh, what did I do there? That's way uneven. Hang on. I must have been trying to do that too fast because that is way uneven. What did I do? I don't know. I did something funny. I didn't quite crease it the right way there. There we go. All right. When I did my washi, well, you could do this whichever way you wanted. That way, it has the scallops running outside. This one has the scallops running inside. No right or wrong way. All right, so there we go. Sarah said, I just couldn't lose the castle. I reversed it. Good, I'm glad. That's okay. That is absolutely okay. So then Sarah will be doing her cover a little bit differently than I did, which is good. That's not a bad thing. All right, so next up, I outlined, even though it's black, you can't really see it. Oh wait, not outline yet. I need to round my corners. I always like to round the corners after I slip cover. The Traveler's Notebook inserts that I use are rounded corners. So I like to round the corners. You don't have to do that, but I like to round the corners. So if you have a corner rounder, you'll want to grab that. And I am going to outline. I'm going to open an outline. That'll make it a little bit easier. In one of my last classes, when we did Traveler's Notebook, somebody said that she, before she even does her, before she even puts her slip cover on the book, she will do her outlining first. So you could get it all set, round your corners, and then take it off if you wanted to do your outlining. Just so if you are outlining, if they're ever going to run into any trouble, it's right here, because you might be writing and it goes right off the edge. And if it does, it's okay. Oh, Joy said she's going to outline in white. Yes, because I actually, and kind of the next step, I outline in white. So what did I do here? I think what I did, I grabbed a piece of white cardstock out of my stash. So you guys do not have white cardstock for this. And all I did was I took this I Heart This Place card and I adhered it to some white cardstock just so it would pop a little bit. Now, if you don't have white cardstock at home, don't be sad. You have this piece left over. So if you wanted, you could use this side or you could use this side. Either one would be cute. I think I'll use that side. So you're not sad if you don't have, if you do not have white cardstock. So we'll just put a little bit of adhesive on that. Sarah, guess what? These are, the refills are on the way. I don't believe they'll get here before I get back, before I leave town. If they do, I will add the refills because I know Sarah's been waiting for the refills. Some of you may also be waiting for the refills for the tape runner, but yes. If you've been waiting for the refills, make sure you go on my website and click the little box when you go that tells you the refills are sold out. Click the little box that says notify me when they're back in stock or email me when available, because then you'll get notified that they're back. Yes, I know it's been forever. All right, so if I'm using this piece, this is a little tiny bit too big. So what I'm going to do is just trim this down. I think I will trim, let's see, that's from one of my last classes, that little example there. Get that rid of that. I think I'm going to trim maybe like 1/8 from the bottom and 1/8 from the top, and let's see what we get. I had to turn that over because I already put adhesive on it. Did that give me enough room? I think I'll do just a tad bit more. Maybe another 1/8 from the top and 1/8 from the bottom. Now, after I've done that 1/8, that means I just basically took 1/4 from the top and 1/4 from the bottom. So I will want to take 1/4 from the left and 1/4 from the right, just because if I want it to be even, then that's what I'll do. So you don't have to do that. If you have white cardstock, you could just go ahead and adhere that right to your white cardstock. Alrighty, get that out of here. And I am going to, I think I'll put it right up here because we can get a little bit of that kind of fun, the little fun fireworks there, right? Didn't quite get that straight. And I need to cut that. Cut off the excess. Alrighty. So Joy said she was going to outline in white. So what I am going to do, I'm going to take my white gel pen. These white gel pens I do carry on my website. I have been scrapbooking for crafting scrapbooking specifically for 25 years when I was pregnant with our first son, Jack, and he is now 24 and a half. I've tried about every white pen out there, and they are not all created equal, I promise you. This gel pen is pretty amazing. It works super well. If you've ever worked with a white pen, you know how finicky they can be, right? They skip, they dry out. So that, I didn't do anything to prep that ahead of time. The one thing that I would recommend, and this is the case with any white pen. So if you use a white pen on any white pen, it's best to store it upside down. They say that you should really store all your pens upside down just to help the ink flow, but I don't do that. But with my white pens, I absolutely do, because that keeps the liquid, the ink itself, in the little nib, so it's a little bit harder for it to dry out. So I always store my white pens that way. Okay, so now let's take this little guy, and that little guy is just going to go right there in kind of the top third of my cover. Now, you'll notice I didn't put adhesive everywhere. I kind of kept the adhesive away from the top back of that because I need to be able to slide something in there. There we go. The thing I want to slide in there is this guy, our little Mickey Mouse clip, which I think is just so stinking fun. So this I am going to put right there. So it just kind of sits right in there. It's kind of a cute little accent, or little Mickey Mouse ears, right? All right. Then I put the sticker here. So if you decided to use the gray side, then you probably wouldn't put the sticker there because you would already have a castle. But I'm going to put the castle sticker right down here. And then I will put a little word strip sticker at the top or the middle of the castle that says Hello Magic. That will be the one that was right there. And I'll just put that little guy right about there. Okay, so that first slipcover is done. We are going to come back and do quite a few things inside of this. So I'm just going to set it off to the side right now as opposed to put it in my cover. I don't want to put any elastics yet because I'll just have to take it out again. So that is going to go off to the side. Now we are ready for our second slipcover. Let me pull this guy out so we can see it. And this is the second piece that we are using. So we already cut this. If you did not cut this with us at the beginning, I trimmed this to 8 1/4 inches tall. So 8.25, again, because that is the height of my insert. You can see I did not use this side. This side is almost impossible to use. You're going to see iCal on the front and then Magi or Madge on the back. So, and it's also was too wide to be even able to like fussy cut and use or just use part of it. So we are going to be using this side. At least I'm using that side for my slipcover. Same as before, we want to fold outside in. If you are scoring, you can also score. If you like to use a scoreboard, and we'll be using that, something like that a little bit later, but don't worry if you don't have one. I'll show you a really easy workaround. If you're using a scoreboard to do your folding here, remember that little tip about the mountain and the valley. We want our outside to have the valley. So usually when you are working with the scoreboard, you want to have this, in this case, the outside part up. Because when you score, that is how it creates your valley. The Hello Magic word strip on the first cover, Teresa, that is coming from your sticker sheet. And it is, I just pulled that off right there. So it's right above the one that says So Much Fun on your sticker sheet. All right, so there we go. We folded outside in. Now we will reverse that. So we have our cover. Grab your second Traveler's Notebook insert. And, oh, here we go. exactly what we did before. We're going to take the closed part, the part with the staples, and line that up with that fold on the inside. Rotate it. Use our finger again to score that. Before you do that, you probably want to make sure that your hands are clean. Since this is white, if your hands are dirty and you do that, then you'll make a nice little dirt covered edge there. All right, so now I'm going to lift that up, use that edge as my guide along with our little score that we created or crease that we created by doing that underneath fold. And there we go. I'll flop it over. This is my cover again, or the slip cover. There is the inside back cover. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Now, with a project like this, you may never do what you may never move out of this traveler's notebook. So when I say move out, here's a little sneak peek. Hang on, sorry, I gotta reach across the room. This is my setup for October. This is the October part of the Fall Traveler's Notebook Kit. I would not keep October in this Traveler's Notebook forever, right? I wouldn't, because once October is over, I am going to take October out and then maybe use this again for November, September, sorry, November. I would take all of these things out. And then use my inserts again for my November setup. So with your inserts, generally you are not completing a full insert every month. So I use Traveler's Notebooks for all different kinds of things. This guy that I always redecorate every month, I redecorate every month because I like to. It just kind of goes with the season and it's kind of a fun thing to do. That's why I do slip covers, because if I'm still working with my inserts, let's say October's over, but I'm still using my inserts and I need to move into November. Well, if I had glued pumpkins to the cover of my insert, I'm in trouble, right? Because now it's very October-y and October's passed. So that's why I do slip covers. Now with something like this, you may never be moving out of this particular traveler's notebook that you're using, because you are using it to document your Disney trips. Maybe you just love Disney so much that you want your daily or weekly or monthly traveler's notebook to always have Disney. So it could be a little bit more permanent. But in most cases, I'm just always slip covering. And I came up with that idea one January, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. I've been using Traveler's Notebooks for a long time, maybe 6 years ago in January. I went, because in December, I had actually glued Christmas paper to my insert. I really wasn't thinking. And then January rolled around and I went, that's not going to continue to work. I can't, get rid of my insert every time. So I thought, I know, I bet we could slip cover, or I bet I could slip cover. And that's what I did. Kind of like being back in grade school. Well, at least for me, back when I was in grade school, you would, even in high school, you'd go to class the first couple of days, and your first assignment, you could always get extra credit for it, was always taking your textbooks home and covering them with a brown paper bag, right? And that was so they would stay protected. But really, it's so we could put stickers all over it and doodle and all the things that we wanted to do. So that's kind of the same idea behind these slip covers. All right, we need our washi again. I'm going to take my washi, do the same thing I did before. Just take, 3 or 4 inches, whatever it is. You don't need much. The reason for washi, again, is so that it could be temporary, if I needed it to be temporary, meaning once, like in my example before, once October was over, I could easily just lift up that washi and take the cover off. Ooh, that one came out easy. Take the cover off and then, recover it. Alrighty. Oopsie, moving around a little bit there. Okay, there we go. There's my second slip covered insert. Now I need to decorate this guy. So I'm using the fun card. Again, I love just that just is so like vintage, original. Disney to me. I don't know when they stopped doing that, because I remember it clearly from when I was a little girl, but I don't really remember when they stopped doing it. It was probably very sad one year when I went to Disneyland and they didn't have the sign anymore. That's probably when they did. Either when they added more parking, or maybe when they did the main, not Main Street. What is that whole area outside of Disneyland? Not Disney World, where you can have all the shops and stuff, but you're not inside the park. All right, so that guy will go right there. Now, this little together thing, it wasn't really doing it for me. I thought, you know what? I mean, we might be going together, but we might not be. So I thought, I'm going to find a little sticker that would go right over that. And I used the one that says, I heart this place, right? Now you know. Isn't that what I called this class? I heart this place. I think that's what I called it, or this kit. That just goes right over the top there. I heart this place. Let me grab a quick sip of water. Oh, okay, hold on, time out. I need to find my water. Oh, there it is. I'm getting a little frog in my throat, and I better have some water. Downtown Disney. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, Downtown Disney. Maybe it was when they started Downtown Disney, but I want to say maybe it's parking, when they started the parking. Okay, next up, you have these two little tickets, these two little admit one tickets. Now, you have more tickets, right? You have tickets that are on your sticker sheet. You have all these tickets, blast off, runaway, you have all those little tickets. So if you wanted to use one of those little tickets instead, you could. But I kind of just wanted to go with lots of white, because these are red and white and black. These just totally look like kind of that Disney theme to me. So I thought, I'm going to use these. There we go. And I just kind of layered them on top of each other. So we put one this way, kind of like that. Slide. Nope. We'll put one this way like that. And then another one kind of skiwampus like that. And then this little heart sticker. I love these heart stickers because you have Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, Goofy, Pluto. And that's fun because we all know what those are, right? We all totally know what those are. But if someone didn't know Disney, you would just think that those were decorative stickers. All right, so these are like Mickey Mouse's little pants. And I did a couple foam squares here, just so this little guy would be popped a bit. And obviously, you could use any of those heart stickers if you wanted in place of this little guy. And there we go. There is our second insert decorated. Now, I did not add any of what we're about to do. All the little things we're going to do inside, I didn't add to this particular insert. I did everything inside of this insert. Now, that's just because I have to sneeze. Hang on. I'm trying to look at the lights. You know, they say if you can't sneeze, if you look at the lights, that makes you sneeze. Not working. It's gonna tickle. So, so I just put everything, all of the things I'm about to do, I just put in one insert because it was a lot easier for me to just do as I teach. So if you wanted to split the things we're about to do into the two inserts, you may need to be thinking about what you are using your Traveler's Notebook for, your Disney Traveler's Notebook. If you are using it all for memory keeping, current trip, a future, I guess it could be a current trip. How about a future trip, past trip, or past trips? Maybe you want to do some planning in here too. So you're planning your trip and you have your packing list and you have the foods that you want to eat and the rides that you want to see and the characters you want to meet and the autographs you want to get and all of those things. The souvenirs that you want to get, you could be making lots of lists in your Traveler's Notebook. You could be adding photos as those things are happening. Lots and lots and lots of different things that you could use your inserts for. All right, so I'm going to actually put one of these guys back in. Like so. Let's talk about this guy for a second. This guy, I am not doing anything with right now. Let's talk about what you could use this for. If you are taking your traveler's notebook with you to Disney, you could actually use your traveler's notebook as a wallet. So you could put your coins in this little zipper pocket. You could put your credit cards in this little zipper pocket. Usually I do this way because on the back side of the little pockets here, you also have another side pocket. So you could put money in there, you could do whatever you wanted if you were using your traveler's notebook as a wallet. And then you just slide that right through your elastics, like so. Generally, if I was using this traveler's notebook, if I had already gone to Disney and I was using this for memory keeping, I would be using this not for a wallet. Oh, look, I put a little sticker there. I would not be using this for a wallet. I would be using this for all kinds of memorabilia. So one of my favorite things to do at Disneyland is to do the pressed pennies. And I assume they also have the pressed penny machines at Disney World. But you go into each little area of the park, like Fantasyland and Tomorrowland and Frontierland. I always think of the little gift shop that is outside of the Jungle Cruise. I don't know why. Whenever I think of pressed pennies, I think of that place. But I go and you take 2 quarters and you take a penny for one machine. You put the 2 quarters in and the penny, and then it will spit out the pressed penny. So that would be really fun to store your pressed pennies in this little zipper pouch, right? There are also one of the gift shops on Main Street. They have all kinds of little tokens, like little silver tokens. And every time I go, if they have new ones, I buy those. And those also go in this little pocket for souvenirs. I would also put receipts in here. And I think you might think receipts, why in the heck would I want to keep a receipt from Disneyland? When the last time we went to Disneyland, Sam was senior in high school. He's our youngest. So I think that was 3 years ago, maybe 3 years. But we had gone for spring break. And for 3 of us to go to Disneyland, I think it was like $380 or something. And at the time I'm like, oh my gosh, $380, that is crazy. But guess what? In 25 years, you're going to look at that receipt and go, oh my goodness, do you believe it was only $380 for 3 of us to go to Disneyland? So those kinds of things, to me, those are memorabilia just as much as the stickers that you get, just as much as the pressed pennies that you get. So I like to save the receipts as well. So you can put receipts in there. When it comes to these little sections, fast passes. I do 2 things in these sections. I do fast passes and I do the little tickets that you get to go into the park. Now, the fast passes, I know that, well, at least someone told me they were phasing out the fast passes. So last time I taught a Disney class, so I don't know if the fast passes even exist anymore, but that's another really cool piece of memorabilia, right? One day, someone, or you'll be looking at this going, oh my gosh, do you remember when they had fast passes? And if you don't know what a fast pass is, it's a little ticket that you could go to a machine at each of the rides, and you could get a ticket, and the ticket would tell you to come back an hour later or whatever it was, and then you would be able to kind of jump part of the line if you did that. Now, generally what happens when you get a fast pass is when you then go to get on the ride, they ask you for the fast pass back. I tell you what, oh, they're gone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, here's the thing then. If you have fast passes as part of your memorabilia, then put them in here because it still tells part of the story, right? It still totally tells part of the story. But guess what? If you don't have a fast pass, you can still get one. The way that you would get one is you'd go to Google and you would Google Fast Pass Disneyland. And I guarantee you, I haven't looked, but I guarantee you, because I've done this for something else at Disneyland before, you would see images of fast passes. So you could take those images, save them to your camera roll on your phone, or if you're doing this on your computer, save them to your desktop. And then you could print out those little things and make them little fast passes, and you could put them in your pockets, because that's really part of, it's kind of part of the story. That is, when I was an adult, I think of fast passes going to Disneyland. Now, the reason I know that you can do that is that Disneyland, when I was a kid, they didn't have one ticket that would get you into anything and everything that you wanted to ride, right? they had ticket books. Do you guys remember the ticket books? With the ticket books, each of the rides had a ticket value. There were A tickets, B tickets, C tickets, D tickets, and E tickets. The E ticket rides were the really good ones, and like Space Mountain. And we'd always run out of E ticket rides, or the E tickets first. My grandpa would be the one doling out the tickets to us. So I have a very like special place in my heart for Disney because we'd go there with my grandparents. Anyhow, you can do the same thing. You can go to Google. You can Google Disneyland ticket book, and obviously you can't find the whole ticket book, but you can find an image of the cover. And I have done the same thing. Right click on that image if it's my computer, save it to my hard drive, print that out as it was a photo, or even just print it out on white cardstock, and then cut that up and then put it in my book to tell part of my story. So that's more from the memory keeping perspective, right? If you're kind of keeping all of the fun memorabilia, I think that's a really fun thing to do. Even if it's not memorabilia from today or current Disney, it is memorabilia for some of us from, Disney a long time ago. Now, I don't know if they still give you tickets when you go into the park. Last time we went, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, you would have the little ticket and it would have always a little character from Disneyland on it. Even saving those guys to put in your little pockets. So lots of fun things that you can put in your little pockets. Even some of the maps, like when you go in, when I go to Disneyland, will get maps. I always get a couple, because the maps you can cut up, you can use in part of your decorating or part of your memorabilia or part of your memory keeping. If you are using this particular traveler's notebook for kind of a scrapbook from your trip, you could even put little photos in here, right? It'd be really cute to tuck photos in. You could put them back to back. So you see one, and then the back side, you could put stuff there. You can put little photos in your zipper pocket. So there's lots of different things that you can use your little zipper pocket for. Okay, we are going to do one more thing to add to our elastics, and then we'll come back and work inside of this guy. So this, you just slide in right through your elastics like you would one of your inserts. Okay, so next up, and we kind of took a look at this little guy before, but now we will actually make it. This is the like pocket folder, okay? So we have our sheet that we cut, and if you did not cut this yet, just a really quick how you want to cut this. It is staying 12 inches tall. You want to cut 1 inch off of both sides. So 1 inch off of the right side and 1 inch off of the left side. All right, so that your little park itinerary is centered. All right, so what we need to do first is we're going to fold this in half. We're going to fold it in half lengthwise like a hot dog bun. So if you think hot dog bun is usually like this, right? It's long and skinny. So we're going to fold it in half lengthwise. I want to fold outside in. So this is the outside of my pocket. So I will fold outside in. Just because this is kind of long, if I want to grab my scoreboard, I could use my scoreboard. So I'll use my scoreboard, and then I'll show you a little tip if you do not have a scoreboard. I am folding outside in, but I'm scoring actually outside up because we want our fold on the to be on the V. So when I say the V, that is creating an indent where I am scoring, and my fold then will be on the V, or the valley. When we talked about this being the mountain and that being the valley. All right, so I just scored that in half at 5 inches. If you do not have a scoreboard and you still want some assistance folding, and you have a trimmer that has an arm on it, so it doesn't have to be this exact trimmer, that has, not an arm, that's the arm, that has this, I don't know, whatever this is. I'm drawing a blank. If it has something like this that lifts up, right, you want to lift that up. This little indentation right there, where the blade usually travels to cut your paper, that little indentation is really no different than the little indentations on your scoreboard. So I can use that little indentation in order to score. So if I was doing that, I would just pull out the arm and line this up at 5 inches. And then I would take my bone folder, if I have a bone folder, and run that right down there along that little groove or that little valley. and that is going to create a score for me as well. If you're doing that, you don't ever want to score straight up and down. That's going to cut your paper instead of tear, and you don't want to do that. So you're just kind of in a nice little angle there, and there you go. Okay, so that is my first step. I have folded that in half at 5 inches, okay? So that's the start of my pocket. Now what I want to do, I want to open that back up, and I want to score at 8 inches. So I will score either 8 inches from the top or 4 inches from the bottom. So if I score right here at 4 inches, right, because I'm going from the bottom. If I was scoring from the top, I would want to be 8 inches. So there we go. There's my score mark. When I fold that up, now that's more resembling my pocket, right? See how that's starting to form? And that's super easy. It's just a 10-inch wide piece of paper by 12-inch tall. So now, before I do anything else, I want to open this back up again. And then close it again, okay? So I opened it back up, so my fold is down, and then I closed it. When I have it closed, I want the fold to be in my left hand and the opening to be in my right hand. All right, fold in the left hand, opening in the right hand. What I'm about to do will create this little angle right there. Without that, I just have a flat pocket across the top. Nothing wrong with a flat pocket. It's just when I have this little angle here, sometimes it makes it a lot easier just to slide things in and out of the pocket, all right? And also makes it a little bit more decorative. So once again, I want to have the fold in my left hand, the open part in my right hand. I'm going to take a little bit longer pair of scissors. And if I come in, I don't know, maybe about 3/4 of an inch-ish, 3/4 of an inch, I'm not going to measure. I am going to start down here at 3/4 of an inch, and I want to end right where that score mark was. All right, so about 3/4 of an inch and about where that score mark was. Now, if that makes you nervous, you could certainly draw, take out your ruler and draw a line, so that could be straight. But that is the piece that you have left over. We open that back up again and close it again, and there we go. So when I said about 3/4 of an inch from the edge, that gave me that much of an opening. If I did an inch from the edge, I'd be way out here. If I did 2 inches from the edge, I'd be way out here. If I only did a 1/2 inch, I'd be in a little bit more narrow. So that 3/4 of an inch is just an arbitrary, but for me, that gives me just a little bit of room to go in both sides there. Okay, so now what I want to do, I need to close up the sides of that. I'm going to grab just some double-sided tape. If you have some double-sided tape, you want to use that. That will secure those pockets really well. If not, then you can use your regular tape runner. So Wendy, when you did that, did you have the folded part on the left and the open part on the right? Okay, so now I am going to take my little tear tape here and put it along that edge and that edge. And I only want to put it along. Okay, so Wendy, you might be able to fix that if you did it this way. You'd have to play with it. You might be able to take those two pieces, and even if you just took like Scotch tape and kind of pieced them back on, I think you'd probably be okay, because this polka dot pattern is so like swampus, you wouldn't really notice if you did that. Oh yeah, you could totally wash them back together too. Wendy, I will tell you that is not the first time that has happened. That is why some of you may have thought, okay, my gosh, get on with it. You've told us 10 times to make sure this one is here and this one is here. happens every time. Just sometimes I know you're listening, but sometimes things just happen, and you've had a long day, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. So, not the first time that it's happened. Certainly won't be the last. But Scotch tape, yeah, Scotch tape could work for you too. But your washi could work too. All right, so I'm just put my little adhesive again there on the edges, so that when I close that pocket again, that my pocket will actually stay closed, right? We don't want stuff falling out of the pocket. There we go. And there we go. And Wendy, I tell you, if we were in person, you probably wouldn't be the only person that did that. I'm sure on the replay, it just happens. It happens. It's okay. All right. So now we're going to take our washi, and this is when I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like Minnie Mouse. Doesn't this scream Minnie Mouse? To me, it totally screams Minnie Mouse. That washi on here, it's just like a match made in heaven. I don't need those big ones anymore. Maybe I do. I don't know where my little ones are. Normally I tear washi, but I'm not tearing it here because I'd like that to be nice and even. And then come to this edge and do the same thing. So this, I didn't do much more decorating on this pocket because it just is, it's just so cute with the lines and the park itinerary, and then, whoopsie, and then this washi with the red and white polka dot. So if you want to decorate more, you certainly can. So now you say, okay, well, this is fun. That's a cool pocket. I can use that in all kinds of traveler's notebooks, but what would I use it for in here? Well, in here, again, park passes, postcards, tons of great postcards at Disneyland or Disney World, right? What I like to do with postcards is I like to get one there and then mail it to myself. Now, I don't know if Disneyland still has a post office inside the park. It used to. I don't know if Walt Disney World does, but it's kind of fun to buy a postcard in the park and then mail it back to yourself, because the post office at Disneyland used to have a really cool postmark. I don't know if it's still there, but so postcards are fun. More of your memorabilia, your receipts, all kinds of things like that. Photos, whatever it is. If you're flying to Disneyland, you could put your airline tickets in there. If you're going on a Walt Disney cruise, you could have, part of your itinerary in the pocket, lots of different things for the pocket. So before we finish, there's a couple things that we need to do. I had mentioned before that I like to round the corners of my slip covers. They don't have their special postmark anymore. Okay, so this is why we're going to talk about getting memorabilia while you can, right? Getting memorabilia, I know, Sarah, mwah, mwah, but getting memorabilia while you can, because right now you might think, oh, well, so I can get the pressed pennies now, but I can get the pressed pennies any day, and it's not going to be very special. Well, one day it is, because the pressed penny machines, actually, those will never go away because they're a good money maker for them, I'm sure. But the things right now that we're like, oh yeah, whatever, that's not really memorabilia, I'm not going to save that. Well, one day those things won't exist, and then it's memorabilia, and you'll be like, shoot, I wish you had that. Now, really quick, I forgot to mention this. This is totally off topic. Well, it's not totally off topic, but we're having a squirrel moment for a minute. It has to do with the pennies at Disneyland. Someone, years ago, I was teaching a Disney class, and someone told me her little trick for being totally prepared for the pressed penny machines when you get to Disneyland. She would take a film canister. So I don't know if you can find a film canister anymore. She would take a film canister. She'd actually, I think, probably take a couple, because every pressed penny machine takes 3 coins. It needs 2 quarters and a penny. So she would load up the quarters in a like a little film canister. And the pennies, she would go to the bank and get a roll of bright, shiny pennies, right? You want nice, bright, shiny pennies if you're doing pressed pennies. You don't want the faded, dirty ones. So she would go to the bank and request a roll of pennies. Well, she wouldn't request it. She'd buy it, right? And then she would put her pennies in. You can buy little, I think they're like little tubes of mini M&Ms. And they come in a little yellow, if I'm remembering correctly, a little yellow tube, solid yellow, maybe about that round and maybe about that tall, with a little cap on them that you could flip on and off. Well, those very easily fit a whole roll of pennies. So you could have your quarters when you need them. You could have your pennies when you need them and your nice shiny pennies. So if you were doing that at Disneyland, then that's a little tip. All right. I do want to round these corners. And I very specifically want to round the corners of this one for a reason. So I'm going to round them and then I will show you why. So I will round all four. This one is kind of like a form and function thing. Before, when we were rounding the corners, for me, it was just form, meaning it was just decorative. But this one is a form and a function. Actually, let me just outline really quick. And then I'll show you why we want to round these corners. So first off, you may have noticed that when I scored this paper, I scored it at 8 inches or 4 inches from the bottom, 8 inches from the top, instead of 8 1/4. Remember when we made our slip quarters? When we made our slip covers, we did our slip covers at 8 1/4, but this ended up being 8 inches tall. That was not a mistake. There was a reason for that. When you go to put this pocket folder into your traveler's notebook, you're putting that most likely through one of the elastics. So when you put that through the elastic, you'll notice that's pretty taut, right? It doesn't have a lot of room to move around, and that's a good thing. If you don't round those upper and lower left corners, what you're going to find is this creates a really kind of not a good pressure point up at the top and the bottom. You can see now that we've rounded, there's a nice place for that elastic to sit, and that can flow pretty freely in there without those spaces getting torn. If we don't round those corners, these two outside corners, then our pocket is going to end up ripping as it kind of moves around. So that's why we round the corners. 8 versus 8.25, it just gives it a little bit more room in there to move around. So that's why we do both of those things. All right, so to wrap up that cute little pocket folder, well, it's very Disney already, right? With the red and white polka dot. We can make it a little bit more Disney. Now it's going to scream Disney by taking that little half ear that's on our sticker sheet. I'll just kind of put it right about there. And then have this really cute sticker that says, I heart this place. And works really well because red and white polka dots, red and white polka dots. And that's just going to go about right there. All right, so that is our little pocket folder. Okay, so now everything else that we are doing, we are going to be doing in this insert. So I'm going to put my traveler's notebook off to the side, and I will get this insert out. Okay, so I started out by decorating some of the pages. Now, this I will plan on, next time we go to Disney, I will plan on using this to document that trip. So for me, I could be here. I could be doing trip planning. I could write our itinerary. I could have my list of things that I want to remember, the clothes I want to wear. I know some of you have lots and lots and lots of ears that you like to take with you so that you have a different set of ears every day that you're there, or I don't know, every hour that you're there. So I could have my list here of all the different ears I want to bring, or I may be just documenting as I'm there or documenting after the fact. So on an intro page like this, I may be just saying, oh, we're off to Disney, or this is when we went to Disney in 1978, and this is what I remember about Disney and my favorite Disney memories or what have you. So with that said, I'm just going to decorate that first page. And you guys have a lot of stickers left. You have lots of pieces left over to do any kind of decorating that you want. So you may be deciding, ooh, I don't know if I'm quite ready yet to start decorating. So I might just sit back and watch and get some ideas and then decorate as I get closer to a trip, or decorate when I am ready to add photos or whatever it is that you're doing. All right, oh, there we go. Looking for this little piece. Remember when we cut this little piece off of that Park Pass card, right? Off of our Park Pass card? Well, look at, that's kind of a great thing to go right there. Get ready for the time of your life. It's kind of like we're starting our traveler's notebook. So get ready for the time of your life. We're getting ready, whoopsie, to document our trip. Alrighty. That is going, whoopsie, better put that back in there. Right up towards the top-ish, right? Towards the top-ish. Then I took a little sticker that says, yay, we're here. That little guy right there, yay, we're here. Just put that, I just kind of put it right on top. Whoopsie. I should have seen what I had done there. Excuse me. If you are adding this, you need to go all the way over to the far edge so you have enough room for your sticker without it covering up the word get. There we go. Yay, we're here. Get ready for the time of your life. Along the bottom, I have used some of these little stickers from Main Street, right? This is Main Street in, well, I'm sure it's Disneyland, Disney World. My favorite shop on Main Street, well, there's two. I love the Mad Hatter, and I also love the confectionery. Now, I'm cutting the confectionery off here, but the candy store. It used to be way back in the day that you could only get, at least I thought so, I don't know, maybe you could get them other places. But when I was a little kid, that you could only get the cherry sour balls at the confectionery store on Main Street. Oh, I love those. I love, 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 love the cherry sour balls. All right. I can use that somewhere else. Oh, the penny cade, that's fun too. All right, so we'll put those back on there. And that little page is ready to go. I mean, you don't need to do a lot of decorating, right? You don't need to do a lot of decorating in your Traveler's Notebook insert. I could just put a photo there, or I could put words, I could put smaller photos, I could do whatever I wanted to do. But that guy, now ready to roll. Next up, I just added a couple of stickers on the next set of pages. Now, I put them on my next set of pages, but I don't know, you might not. Depending on if you already know what you're documenting, one of the things that I like about Disneyland is the food, right? We talked about the food. So I grabbed a couple of stickers here, and I thought I could do a list here of some of my favorite foods at Disneyland. So that's what I'll do there. But if you are documenting along in your Traveler's Notebook, you may not want to have this intro page and then that page as the next page. So I'll go ahead and put those on there, but you may want to think a little bit about where you are putting some things. Or you might not even put the things down until you're actually ready to do the documenting. There's your Dole Whip. You know what you never see? You never see stickers with the chocolate-covered banana. All right, I'm actually cutting off part of that churro because it's just kind of in my way. So I just cut off part of that churro, and that little sticker can just go right there. You never see the chocolate-covered banana. Chocolate-covered banana doesn't get enough love. Okay, next up, we are going to make a pocket, and I'm just going to continue working on the pages throughout my insert. Again, you may want to wait to decide where you want to have your pocket, but I'm going to do that pocket next. So my pocket, I am taking what I have left over from this piece when we did our slip cover, and I am going to trim that to about 5 inches wide, probably a little bit less, maybe like 5 inches less a titch, and I will create the pocket out of that. So let's grab our trimmer. The reason I say a little bit less than 5 inches is we have to account for a couple millimeters that we lose in that center there with the staple. So I'll go maybe, I don't know, what is that? Like, I don't know, a few less. So my pocket will go right there. I can wait around the corner after. Because it's a pocket, when I turn that over, I want to put my adhesive along the sides and the bottom, so it remains a pocket. And that pocket will be a great place, again, for memorabilia or photos, or it could be and/or photos, right? I can just tuck photos in that little pocket. You guys still with me? All I'm seeing, those of you that are live, all I'm seeing is Sarah's comment last. I'm just smashing memories right and left, LOL. Okay, so there we go. Before I adhere that, I want to make sure that the part with the adhesive is at the bottom. I don't want to leave the bottom of the pocket open and the top closed. That would be sad, right? Okay, there we go. I'll come back in and round that little corner. And I have to see too, those of you that are watching the replay, how are you doing? Even though you really kind of can't answer me, I can still ask you, right? Because I know that you're here watching the replay. All right, there we go. So it's cute, but it's kind of boring. I can jazz it up just a little bit by taking my product strip. So this is the product strip that we cut off one of our papers, right? Well, look at that. That's great little stuff to use there, right? Totally great to use. So I am going to just trim this to be about the same width, so 5-ish, a little bit less than 5. And I'm going to put that little strip right up at the top of my pocket, just to give it a little bit of an accent. Normally, I would do that with washi, but I really can't do it with washi here because I wouldn't see it, right? Because the washi that we have is the scallop, so we wouldn't see it. I don't want to close up the pocket. I just want to give it a nice little accent, like that. Now, to remind myself that I want to put things in there at some point, I will grab, what did I do with it? Well, I already put it in this one, but this little piece that you have, if you want to just pop something in there, you can. Oh, good. Tom's still here. Wendy, did you tape your paper? Oh, yes, Wendy. Were you able to recover? Did you recover from your pocket mishap? All right, still too plain and boring though. So let's take this one. Let's take, this is where the adventure begins. Let's take that little sticker and we're going to put it right there on that pocket. And then it just kind of makes it a little bit more cute, a little bit more Disney-ish. And then I'm taking this little sticker that says smile. And that goes right in the middle there. Add some color. And then these little fireworks things. Which one did I use? This one. So do not try too hard to get this one off, okay? You will not be able to get that one off. This happens very rarely, but the die line, when they sent this to the sticker maker, the die line didn't get cut. You see that's got the outline. That's where it should have been cut. That's the die line, but it didn't get cut. So you will try forever to get that little one off. It won't come off. All right. So this little guy I just put right up there. And then I can add things to my pocket. All righty. Next up, we just have this, whoopsie, I got to put that back in there so I remember to do that when we get there. Just kind of a fun little spread. On my next, I'm doing that on my next page, but you could, like I said before, wait until you know what you're going to do, or you might want to do it as you go, as you're, decorating, or as you're on your trip, or whatever it is you're doing. I want to cut this sticker in half. Well, not in half. I want to cut the sticker so it splits in between that center. You always want to do that. You don't ever want to leave that anything connected there, whether it's washi or a sticker or something like that. It will just make it really hard for your book to move as it needs to move as your book gets fuller, your insert gets fuller, more full. So I always like to cut those. So it's a cute little accent right down there along the bottom. And then, whoopsie, you can't see that. We are going to take this little magic sticker, and magic goes about right here. A little bit off center, just a tad, because I want to take this sticker that says meeting the mouse, and I want that to kind of tuck right in there. So if you are meeting characters, even if you're meeting characters other than the mouse, you could still put that there. if you want to get autographs while you're at the park. You could just take, even if you don't want to take your whole traveler's notebook, you could just throw this piece in the bag, and then as you get to the different characters, have them do their autographs all on one spread. They can do them on individual spreads. If you wanted to have, here's your picture with Mickey Mouse, and then here's his autograph, and then you do some other things here. Kind of up to you on how you wanted to do that, but that's what I thought would be fun there. Then you have this little kind of banner thing going on, and it will fit if you just get it at kind of an angle. There we go. And that spread is done. Just keep crafting and said, I'm still here. This is great. Oh, good. I'm glad you are enjoying it. Look at your cute little dog. That's your avatar. Oh my gosh, Sarah, you have a dog as an avatar too, don't you? Is that a German Shepherd? It's so fun to see people's avatars. Wendy, it looks like an ice skater. Teresa's like a little caricature. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, next up here we have, hang on. Oh, okay, there it is. Like, wait, what happened? Okay, next up we have just another spread again. So we're gonna do something really quick on the left, and that's easy. This one says, this sticker says, go see ride. So go see ride. This could be fun. If you are making lists, you could make a list of your favorite rides. Shepherd Husky named Jasper. Oh, so cute. So cute. So you could make a list of your favorite rides here. Maybe the whole rest of this insert has photos of you on the rides and your favorite things about the rides, because really, that's part of what Disneyland's all about, really. The rides, the food, the characters. There you go. All right, next up, I'm going to take the little sky rider, the little sky ride, and we're going to have that like it's in the air. And I used a little word strip sticker that said, just one more ride. So we're not doing a ton of decorating on these pages, right? I mean, if these were like 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, they'd be totally boring. But we have a limited space to work within, and virtue of a traveler's notebook is this great place to do your writing, your journaling, things you love about Disney. You could even, if you guys are going with grandkids, or a couple of you mentioned you're going with like your teenage kids, have them take one of these every night. And what was my favorite part about today? And they could be writing in here some of their favorite things about the day. That way you get some of that memory keeping in their voice, right? You could do the same thing in your voice, but you could get their voice. And if you do it at the end of every day, then it is done. Or at breakfast the next morning, ask them to write, like their top 10 favorite things about the day before, or whatever it was. So you can get things kind of in their voice. All right. So now we're going to do on this side, this is a waterfall. So we are going to create a waterfall using 3 of our 3x4 cards and washi. When I say a waterfall, these 3 cards are waterfalling on top of each other. So on this side, I have nice decorative little cards, right? The back side, I have room for photos. So I could put a little bit smaller than 3x4 on each of the back sides of those, and then I could even put one there as well. So let's get those 3 cards. So I used, whoopsie, losing stuff. Happy Day, I used the balloon cart, and I used Bring on the Magic. So the way that I do this, I have part of my churros on the table. All right, so Teresa said she journals every night and adds pictures with my Sprocket and Instax. So that is a great tip for really doing any kind of memory keeping when you're on a trip. If you can get in the habit of doing that every night, then when you get home, it's done. If you have a little pocket printer, like a Sprocket, an Instax, a Polaroid, number of different companies make little pocket printers. Let me see. Hang on. I'm just gonna grab that my little thing with those real quick, and we'll talk about those for a sec. So pocket printers. This makes really doing your memory keeping while you're traveling or on a trip like this super easy. So I have, and this is always loaded like this little container, my little pouch here, so I can just throw it with me. In fact, I'll be throwing this with me when we leave town at the end of, or this weekend. So we're gonna be gone for 10 days. So I will be doing my memory keeping on the road. I have a couple of different pocket printers here, and these are called pocket printers because really they could fit in your pocket, right? I mean, look at that. That is smaller than my cell phone. Smaller than my cell phone, a little bit thicker than my cell phone, but smaller than my cell phone. This one's Polaroid. This one is an LG, but basically they all work the same. They use a photo paper that has the ink embedded in it. So it's using a technology called zinc. They all use that same technology. They say that you should get the paper for the specific printer. So there'll be a Polaroid version, there'd be a HP Sprocket version, whatever it is. But basically your little, hang on. It's been a while. There we go. Your little photo paper just goes right inside, and they all have apps, and these work off of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So when you get to your hotel at night, you can turn this on, open up the app on your phone, pull up the photo that you want to print, and print it right through that app. And it prints out that size photo. Now, most of these are stickers. I think those are sticker versions. So basically, that could be my photo. I could do those right there, like that, do a little bit of journaling, and I could be done for the day. So those are really fun. I have, the ones that I use, I have linked on my website under the favorite finds section. So it's under the Amazon favorite finds area. So they're kind of cool. Now, a couple caveats with those. They are, obviously, they're not, I mean, this is definitely more convenience, right? It's more convenience. You are limited to that particular size, and the quality is okay. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not like, you know, you took a picture with your DSLR camera and then had it printed it persnickety prints or something like that. But for the convenience, it's pretty awesome. I think the prints end up being about 50 cents each by the time you buy the little photo paper. But that's kind of a fun way to do things if you want to document on the road. Okay, so let's go to making our little waterfall. I have those 3 cards. So when I do a waterfall like that, I definitely need to have washi. Yeah, and that's a nice thing about your traveler's notebook. It's kind of a smaller size, so it's kind of well suited for smaller photos. All right, so what I want to do is I need to attach this to my insert. I attach that with washi. And the way that I do that is I want to get a straight edge here. So cut yourself a little straight edge. And I want to put my washi, so it's going to be half on the card and half on my insert, whatever I am attaching it to. Really easy way to do this is if you just have the white part be on the card. So the white part will be on the card. Let me pull that back up. And the scallop part will be off the card. There we go. And that I will put right up there. Okay, so that is now attached to the insert. I want to lift that up and do the same thing on the back side. But in this case, I need to probably put the black part on the card and the white part on the insert. Kind of the reverse. Okay, now that makes sure that that's not going anywhere because it's kind of double hinged, right? It's on the front and on the back. So next up, I want to do the next card. Now for me, the next card is always the bottom card because then I can kind of space things accordingly, right? I can kind of lay things out. and space them accordingly. So it's about, I want them to be kind of about even-ish, right? One thing that I did on, oh gosh, that is not straight at all, is it? One thing that I did after I had built my waterfall, I thought it'd be fun, like, oh, I should add a little piece of washi there. So it kind of all is a nice one little straight line together. So while this is here, I'm just going to add my little piece of washi right here. Need to move that up just a tad, just a titch. It probably, instead of continuing to lift that up to try to get it to the right spot, if I cut my washi so that the pieces were all 3 inches wide, my cards are 3 inches wide, so that might make it a little bit easier. All right, so I do this bottom one next because now I know where it needs to go. Again, I'm half on the card and half on, well, I won't be on half on the insert yet. Go ahead and cut this guy. Line that one right up there. Lift this guy up and do the same thing. Easy peasy. Half on the card, half on the insert. Now this that we're doing right here, this is, we're waterfalling. But I could do the same thing with a postcard. I like to do that with postcards. A little bit off there. I like to do that same thing with postcards, but I do it in a different place. Let me just grab something real quick. This is one of my traveler's notebooks that I use for travel. All right, so here is a good example of that, where I'll take a postcard and I do the same thing, but instead of doing, you know, like we were just doing on the page, I've got my postcard, half on the postcard and then half in the center. Same thing on the back side, half on the postcard, half in the center. That's called a tip in. So it's a really easy way to add additional things into your traveler's notebooks, whether it be photo, a postcard, whatever it is. So you have plenty of washi to do that. Plenty of washi. All right, so last one. Let's see, that looks about right there. And we'll lift this up. I'm doing those kind of fast. And this little guy will go half on here. And then half on insert. Now this is a fun thing to do in mini books. If you do other kinds of crafting besides working in a traveler's notebook, mini book, you can even do these on layouts, whatever it is. You could do a fun, even like a gift card or something would be fun to do, a little, those little waterfalls. That'd be a great way. Like, you know, sometimes if you're going to a birthday party or something, or retirement party or something, or wedding, and there are a lot of people that are trying to sign the card, this would be an easy way to create more space on the card or in the card for people to write, because sometimes you run out of room. And this guy will go right there. And our waterfall is done. So like I said, I would probably add little photos on the backs of each of those cards. I mean, you could even do, this would be cute little to put a photo on there, because you'd have a little bit of that, you could have a little bit of that diagonal border showing. All righty. Next up, we're using your tickets, more tickets. Again, I'm just continuing right along the next page in my insert. But I thought this would be kind of fun. Just taking that whole idea of Disneyland and tickets. I am just splitting these guys in half lengthwise. And we will have one row of tickets going down the left edge of the spread, and another one going, not row, column of tickets going down the left edge, and then another one along the right edge. That darn piece keeps falling out. Oh, so we were talking about charms at the beginning, you guys. I told you that Sam
Hi, you guys.
Hi, sweetie. Sam, our younger son, now has a little side hustle for me, and he makes the charms. Hi, sweetie.
You can't say that.
Of course I say that.
I don't want to get audited by the IRS.
Oh, geez. He's whispering to me, Mom, you can't say that. I don't want to get audited by the IRS.
You can't say that.
You can't say that. Your hair looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
Your curls look good. Oh, thank you. Okay. Anyhow, he stopped by. He's
Where it is?
they're on the counter, sweetie.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too. The other ones are there for T to do too. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anyhow, so Sam does the charms. So he had to come. I was out of the travel charms, so he had to come and get the travel charms to make more, or the stuff for the travel charms to make more. But he made, if you missed it at the beginning, he made your little charms. He's like the assembly line. I find the stuff and design it, and then I give him to. Whoops, I didn't do very well there. And then give them to him, and I'm like, here you go. Here's your sample. Start making. Sweetie, when are you gonna? Can you bring those back tomorrow?
The charm?
Or some of them?
No.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I'll talk to you later. We'll figure it out later. Okay. We have one. Sammy, I'm kind of busy, sweetie. Kind of busy. Sorry, guys. That's just kids, right? Kids. He found something in the kitchen that he wants to take with him. Like, you can have one. There's 2 left. You can have one. All right. And then he's going, so we won't do that anymore. All righty. Thank you for letting me mom there for a minute. All right. So then there we go. That is along the other edge. And then I can come in and corner around. All righty. How are we doing, guys? Let's see. It's 8:47, so we don't have that much left to go. We'll end up being right around, we'll be about 2.5 hours, I bet. Maybe a little bit more, but about 2.5 hours. All right, when all is said and done. So then, it's cute, but it's kind of plain. So I added this little sticker, the fun sticker. The fun. No, those are my things.
This isn't good.
Okay, Sam.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of busy, sweetie. Sorry, friends. Okay, next thing we are going to make. So we have 2 things left to do. Next thing we're going to make, we're going to take that paper clip, and we are going to turn that paper clip into this. Okay? We're going to make a cute little decorative paper clip that we can use to either decorate our page or some of our pages. We can use as a bookmark. So if we are documenting every day, then we have this little place to mark where we are. If you like to read, if you like to Bible journal, this little trick here, when we make this little paper clip, then you can now make these forever. You can make them for all different kinds of things, but I think they're kind of cute. Okay, so we need our paper clip, and we need this piece that we had left over. We just need a little bit of this. We need to cut a piece that is, let's see, about 1 3/4 by 4. 1 3/4 by 4. Teresa said, I love that your adult son loves his mama and needs her attention. Yes. Yes. Okay. I love that too, Teresa. 1 3/4. Well, I might as well do this. 4. I think Friday.
Okay.
Okay, 4 by 1 3/4. He wrote me a note. Thank you, sweetie.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Okay, 1 3/4 by 4. That's my little piece. That I picked 1 3/4 wide because it needs to be not too wide that it will sit right there the width of my paper clip. So if you have a smaller paper clip, you would make smaller width. If you had a larger paper clip, you would make larger width. You just kind of, do that accordingly. So I'm going to fold that little piece in half. So now it is 1 3/4 by 2, folded in half. I am going to think about this. Go like this. Here we go. take the fold, the open part of the fold. See how I have the top part of the paper clip here and then that little loop on the left side. I don't know the proper vernacular of paperclip language, paperclip anatomy. But the top there, the shorter of the closed loops, I don't know, is right there. And then the bigger one is there. So we're going to take that and just slide that right in there. Like so. If your paper's a little bit too wide, just take it off and trim it a little bit. So we're going to start out that way. Eventually, we need to seal it, adhere it together. But actually, I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Okay. Now it's not going to go anywhere. On mine, I made a cute little, so it looks kind of like a little banner. So I need my little scissors. Use my reach again. Wait. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. So usually when I make a little notch like that, I just notch left and notch right. If that makes you a little bit nervous, you could go up the center first and then come in from the left till you hit that point. And then come in, well, that's the other left, but I rotated it. So, okay, there we go. It's starting to look more and more like my little finished clip there. Outline it because that's what I do. Then we're using our little punched gold Mickey head. And we want that to have a prominent place on that clip. So we're going to take a foam square, a larger one this time. And did I put them behind the ears? Oh, I did. So large square behind the meat of his head, the center of his head. I don't know what you call that. And then little ones behind his little ears. If you have had it, especially I know some of you East Coast, it's getting late. So just remember, you can always come back at any time. Whether you were starting with me live or whether you weren't able to start live at all, or you're from Ready, Set, Create and you are watching after the fact, then you can always pause, rewind, fast forward, watch whenever you need to. All right, so there's my little finished clip. Super easy, right? And that, I know some of you are huge scrap collectors. You save all of your paper scraps. So look at that. That was a 1 3/4 by 4-inch piece. I bet you have lots and lots and lots of scraps that you could make little paper clips like that. And they're just fun, cute little ways to either decorate your traveler's notebook or to function as little bookmarks. So this is one that we are making very similar, but that is one that we are making as part of the fall traveler's notebook kit. That cute little one with the owl and that little fun gold star. All right, so one thing left to do. Teresa, 10:53 p.m. I'm no quitter. Oh, it's funny. I am both a night owl and an early bird, which sometimes is a blessing and a curse. The one thing, though, that I cannot do, I hit a wall when it comes to designing. So, not necessarily like if I had a kit and I was working like this and working off of a kit that someone else had designed, I would have no problem. But if I am designing, I hit a wall. And I hit a wall about 10 o'clock at night. And sometimes it's way sooner than that. But I can keep going for a long time. I can pack orders until the wee hours of the morning. But if I'm trying to design and be creative, I totally hit a wall. So sometimes it's just better to say, okay, I'm good. And then continue in the morning. Just keep crafting. Still here. My going off to college son leaves me alone. The other one, not so much. I love it. Okay, last thing that we're going to do. I am going to put this insert back into my traveler's notebook for now. Get all these little parts and pieces put back in. Get this guy in. And this one in. Oh, Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. We'll just put this guy in the back. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a little something that will make it very easy to add photos inside, and we don't have to adhere them to our pages. And we are going to make this little fold out like this. I would put photo here, probably photo here, photo here. We'll talk about probably in a second. I could do photo here. I could do photo on the back. So you have lots of room for photos here. Basically what we're doing is we're using that elastic to house this little trifold. So we would do that and do, actually not like, well, I guess it doesn't matter which way we do that. Yeah. Anyhow, there we go. There's my little trifold. So we are going to use this piece that we have left over. Half of you will have the product strip at the top. Half of you will not, because I did not cut them off. Well, I didn't cut them. Someone else cut them. But I didn't have them cut that little piece off because that would just complicate things. So if you have that little product strip on your piece, go ahead and cut that off. And that piece is now 6 by 12. It is cut to 6 by 12 so that you have space for 3 4 by 6 photos if you'd like. Well, they have to be a little bit smaller than 4 by 6 because they'd fill up the entire space. All right, so we're going to grab either our bone folder or our trimmer, whatever you're using to score things. Oopsie. Whatever you're using to score things. And you are going to score at 4 inches and at 8 inches. 4 inches and 8 inches. Now on mine, I had the white facing out. So I folded the right side in and then folded the left side in. Your paper is not dirty. That is part of the design on this particular piece of paper. So depending on if you got the top half or the bottom half, you kind of have that water color effect. And you can see it has it on both sides, so don't worry that you got bad paper. Years ago, I worked at a company by the name of Scenic Route, and they were using kind of that distressing technique as kind of a background layer on some of their papers. So you'd have that in the background, then you'd have stuff on top of it. I can tell you how many people reached out to us saying, looks like a truck ran over my paper. What is wrong with it? Nothing was wrong with it. It was part of the design. It's just when you do it on white, sometimes it's just a little bit more obvious. Okay, so there we go. The front of that, I used this little card, our little Mickey Mouse sweatshirt or Disneyland sweatshirt. And I just put that right there on the front. Below that, I put a word strip sticker that says Amazing Memories. Like so. And then another little sticker that says Let's Go. Anytime, let's go to Disneyland, anytime. All right. Then I came in and thought, well, this is a nice little straight edge that might look really nice with scallop washi. If you like scallop washi, Doodlebug has many, many colors that they recently released of scallop washi. And I have all of them on my website. It's kind of just a fun little accent, but they have in all the fun Doodlebug colors. They also have black. I do not carry the black because I already have black, my own black washi that I had for a while before they came out with theirs. So all the colors except for black. But you don't need black because you have it. And I think that that scallop washi is just so fun because as you've seen as we've used it, and the Doodlebug is the same, that the white part is transparent so you don't see it, and the colored part, so it makes it look like you have really cool washi that is scalloped when it's not really scalloped. It's just the design makes it look like it's scalloped. All right, so that is that little card. And all you're doing is coming back into, oh, we need to put this in our traveler's notebook now. Teresa, I used Let's Go and Amazing Memories. But you guys can see you have tons of stickers left over, right? You have lots of stickers left over. So you could use really whatever you wanted if you wanted to use something different. All right, so let's go ahead and put this guy in here. And I am using just the elastic within that insert to house my little thing there. So that's kind of a fun way to add a space for additional photos if you didn't want to add the photos directly to your insert. Now, if you wanted, you could, let's see, that would work if you wanted. You could take a little card like that, or if you had other pattern paper or white cardstock or whatever, you could then make a little pocket out of that. Just by kind of exactly how we, similar to the way that we made the pocket on one of our prior pages with the black and white polka dot paper, right? We're just taking this. And one of our 3x4 cards works because it is the width of our little trifold here is 3 inches. No, 4 inches. 4 inches. Sorry. Yes, the folded insert. Do you mean this guy? I think this guy, the little trifold. So the only thing I've done so far is put that that little washi right there along that edge. But now I am going to take this and just make a quick little pocket. So there, I could tuck smaller photos into that little pocket, or I could trim this just a tad. Smaller photos into that little pocket, or I could put memorabilia, whatever it is. And then that goes right there. If you are doing autographs from the different characters at the park, if you took maybe like little cards or little pieces of cardstock, you could have them autograph those, and then you could tuck them in a pocket like that. Or maybe you didn't want to take your Traveler's Note insert with you like this. Maybe you wanted to get their autographs. You could just take some cardstock, have them autograph those, and then when you get home or when you get back to the hotel or wherever you're staying that night, you could just cut out those little autographs and then adhere them, you know, onto your pages where you're telling a story about that character, where you had the photos with that character, what have you. All right, friends, so that wraps up our I Heart This Place Disney Traveler's Notebook project. You have lots of stickers left over, right? You have tons of stickers left over. So you have lots of room in your inserts to continue decorating based on how you decide you want to use those inserts and what you're documenting. You also have a few extra pieces. You have these 2 extra pieces, right? So these, just as like, very similar to how we used our tickets, like that. You could do the same thing with these pieces that you have left over. You could put one there, one on the outside, and that would be a little bit of decoration, maybe with a sticker. So you have some pieces left that you can use. This little guy, that product strip, this guy you could use as if it were washi. So I'm actually going to use this one because I think this will be a little bit easier to see. Let me take this, cut this guy off. When I use the product strips as if they were washi, I like to tear. Let me see this just right here. I like to tear it, so it's almost as if I was tearing my washi, right? Get a little bit of adhesive on there. So there is right kind of down there along the bottom, as if it was just a little strip of washi. Now I could have had it continue over on the next page and then cut it in the center if I wanted, but then I could even take my washi that's part of the kit and kind of just, whoops, layer that right on top of there. Like so, Okay, so just a cute little decorative bottom to my page. Maybe I'm making a list here, and maybe I want to do the favorite parts about this part of Disney, and I don't remember where that is. I think isn't that, I think this is, oh yeah, this is in the French Quarter, isn't it? Isn't this in the French Quarter? So near Pirates of the Caribbean. So I could do that and then, you know, do my list or little documenting there, and just super simple at the bottom. So pages don't have to be super decorative. Or really none of these are, well, that one kind of is, but you could even just use a little bit of washi along the bottom and a sticker and then do your stuff there. Really, you could just use, well, this would be fun too as we keep going. Let me just do this here. So this could be kind of fun. I'm gonna have to pull it a little bit more towards me so I can see it better, where the edge of that page is, because it's hard to see where the edge of that page is. So I could even use, oh, that's way off. Way off. You guys know where I'm headed though, right? I could even just use this washi as just a cute little decorative border. Well, I'm not, you get the gist, right? You get the gist of that. Well, now I've started it, so I have to finish it, right? But that could just be a really cute little decorative border along my page too. So not everything has to be super decorative. I can go really far with a roll of washi, can't I? I can get really far with a roll of washi. Okay, let me just cut this off, and then I will flip the camera and we will say our goodbyes. I want to cut that off just so it doesn't stick to other things. All right, there we go. Okay, so I need to turn on the overhead lights and turn off the spotlights, the studio lights. Because if those are on me, it's way too much for a person my age. Don't want to be seeing all those close-ups with studio lights. Oh my goodness, what happened? Oh boy. I need Nick to come take a look at that light. One's hanging, that's not good. Okay, all right friends, I'm going to flip the camera. So guess what? Dapper Dan's, yes, the Barbershop Quartet, exactly. Oh, fire station, okay, there we go. All right, I am going to rotate the camera. So arms and legs inside the right at all times, all right? We're gonna pretend like we're in Space Mountain. We gotta go for a quick little spin. All right, there we go. I gotta set that straight because it's all crooked. Okay, friends, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. It's hard, I don't know, hard not to enjoy when it's Disney, right? Well, it's hard not to enjoy when we're crafting either, because crafting is always so fun. But hard not to enjoy when Disney's the topic, because really, it is the happiest place on earth, right? Well, now you have a total blank page, right? You have blank pages to do whatever you want. I gave you some ideas, but like I said, you have stickers left over, you have washi, you have some pattern paper pieces, so you can go to town and do whatever you would like to finish that up. Some of you mentioned you are headed to Disney in October, Disney World for Halloween, right? The October celebration. So if you are doing that, have a wonderful time. I can't remember if someone said they're going on a cruise or, oh yes, for the 20th anniversary, maybe? I'm probably mixing things up in my head, but wherever you are headed to Disney next, have an amazing trip. As much as you can, if you can, document while you're there, because that's while your memories are fresh, right? Memories are fresh while you're there. Really, any trip. If you can document while you're there, while your memories are fresh, it seems that you will remember a lot more things. Well, you don't have to remember a lot more things. Well, I guess you do at the end of the day, but you know what I mean. If not, if that's not something that you want to do, what I recommend, either take like a blank insert with you or take a little spiral notebook or something, even sticky notes, so that you could at least put sticky notes or have sticky notes or spiral notebooks so you're capturing that information while you're on your trip. And then at home, it's really easy to come back and document. All right, let me look at the comments real quick. Teresa said, thank you so much for another fun class. You are welcome. Sarah, Lil, thanks so much fun. Again, doing Disney with you. Yes, I know some of you do Disney with me every time I do Disney. It's so much fun. Dawn said, can't wait to list all my pre-Disney plans and things to see and do. Yes, especially if you're going with other people. Either ask them to list in your book on the things they're looking forward to, or list for them. This is your list about things you're looking forward to. Juniors, your best friend, whoever you're going with, kind of, if you want to put their list in there too, that could be kind of fun. All right, guys. So that does it for tonight. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So right about where I thought we would land, between 2.5 and 3 hours. If you have any questions as you are finishing your insert or your project, or for those of you that are watching the replay, whether you couldn't make it tonight, whether the timing was off, whether you are don't have your kit yet, because that's the other thing. I always forget to say this. A lot of you, well, I shouldn't say a lot of you, I should say some of you that are watching the replay, it's because you bought the kit long after, what's today? August 9th, 2022. Well, they won't be around for that long after, but anyhow. So whenever you're watching, if you're watching the replay, welcome to you. I hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, leave questions in the comments for me of the video, and I will be notified, or you can reach out on my website and send me a message there through Contact Us. You keep having the class, Teresa, you keep having the class, I'll keep coming. Yes, there's I think we said Thursday night is the mini book, the Say Cheese at the Park mini book class. That'll be a fun one. Well, this was fun too. They're all fun. Let's see. Raquel, thank you so much. Can't wait to create and prep this notebook. Pamela, thank you for all you do. Love this class. I'm so glad, you guys. I love it. I love Disney. I love teaching. It's just, and I love Traveler's Notebook. So all three of these together are just like heaven for me. I think that's all. If you are normally with me Saturdays, we will be together this Saturday. That is Saturday the, 12th of July? August? Oh my gosh. Wow. Today's the 9th and it's a Tuesday. So do the math. This Saturday is 13th, 14th, I don't know, whatever it is. We will be together this Saturday, and we'll also be together the last Saturday of August. I thought I was going to be gone. We're not leaving till the next day, so we will be here then. Okay, friends, August 13th. Thank you, Dawn. Teresa's like, yes, I'm nodding like you can see me. Yes, I can't see you, but I should nod anyway. Okay, friends, so if I don't see you anytime soon and you are visiting Disney, have a wonderful trip. If I don't see you soon and you're not visiting Disney, then safe whatever you're doing. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I hope to see you around sometime soon. Okay, bye-bye.